And away we go. All right, I'm going to start the show. Gotta meditate. Just a ponytail. Hair hasn't gone anywhere, and it's very floppy. Just a few breaths before the show starts. Just gonna take the breath. After watching all the freaking out online about voting, and then we breathe in reality, and we exhale the bullshit. And we're breathing in reality, and we exhale in the bullshit. Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Give us a thumbs up right out of the gate. Don't forget to do it. Just do it right now while we're chit-chatting and kind of getting ourselves settled in this. I have a beverage, and then we're ready to go. There's a lot going on. I think the first thing we need to do is address the vote today, because there seems to be a lot of wailing and gnashing of teeth going on about Manchin and Sinema, and whether, Kristen Sinema, who's from the lovingly weird state of Arizona, was dancing when she gave the thumbs down, which it looks like she was, and wearing some sort of like schoolgirl outfit. I don't know what was going on there. But can I do you a favor? Can I do you a favor right out of the gate? May I give you this gift? Don't get caught up in an argument about the impossible, because that seems to be what's happening online in terms of the Bernie amendment for the $15 minimum wage. The COVID relief bill, the American Recovery Act, is going to pass via reconciliation. It is going to get 50 votes, 48 Democrats, 2 independents, and the tie will be broken by the VP, by Kamala Harris coming in and breaking the 50-50 tie by adding her vote. If Bernie's amendment gets added to the Senate bill, even if they had the 50 plus 1, once it bounces back to the House, it gets seen through, and if it makes it through that version and comes back, it will no longer qualify. Listen to me now, hear me now. It will no longer qualify to be voted on based on reconciliation. It can be voted on, it can be brought to a vote, but you'll need 60 votes to pass it. And the reason is because the $15 minimum wage has nothing to do with the budget of the U.S. government. It is an active form of stimulus. They made a decent argument about it, that eventually it would lead to more tax revenue, but there is no direct through line that makes it qualify for reconciliation. There is none. It doesn't exist. Let's not pretend it does and get mad about impossible things. It is, and when you do, when you start bringing this up with the as if it could actually happen, as if this is actually a functional way of making this happen. It is, considering people are waiting for UI extension, considering people are, needing the moratorium on evictions, and all the businesses that are waiting to be salvaged, all the direct payments that go to small businesses as opposed to giant corporations, and that the money that, came out last year that Steve Mnuchin was hiding every cubbyhole he could possibly find that never made its way to Main Street, that all of those things blow up. They go away because you need 60 votes. You'll have every Democrat, 2 independents, the VP, and the bill will die. It will be over. All of those things, all the positive in it, which never was, I don't think the intent was. There is a standalone $15 minimum wage bill and the like, which still exists and is working its way through the process, and will get a floor vote thanks to Chuck Schumer, and will actually have people try to argue it, and it'll go through debate and all that kind of stuff. But attaching it to this one literally takes it out of consideration for reconciliation, makes it a 60 vote. When it has to get 60 votes to pass, and effectively destroys the bill. Everything in it, gone, period, end of story. Should it be another way? Yeah. Wouldn't it be lovely? Wouldn't it be lovely? But That's how it works. Not going to happen. And if you want to blow up the concept of reconciliation to have it include the minimum wage advance, in theory, that means that the Republicans could blow it up for anything they want to next time, and we have a 50-50 coin flip majority. If we had 55 seats, I'd go, you know what? It might be time for this gamble. But that doesn't exist. They can do it as a standalone bill. It's not. I just have a ponytail. They can do it as a standalone bill. The Democrats are planning a standalone bill. There are a couple of different versions of it as a standalone bill. Even Bernie's standalone bill looks exactly like everyone else's, and he wasn't the first one to write it, so it's not like everybody cribbed off him. It's depending on who you're listening to, a 4 to 6 year growth process that guarantees a $15 minimum wage within 4 to 6 years. And that it has to deal with the local economies and how they can support it, and the size of the companies and how long that phase in is, that giant corporations and franchises would phase it in quicker, and that smaller mom and pops would phase it in slower because of the profit margins in both those circumstances. And, obviously large corporations that have, facilities that they make money off of in China and Thailand and the like can offset their losses in the United States the way a local mom and pop can't. And so the idea is you have to, you phase it in over a while. It's always been a phase-in bill. It's always been presented as a phase-in bill, even though it's called the Fight for 15. Even in Bernie's bill, it's a 4-year process at minimum. Right now, Kyrsten Sinema's state, Arizona, is in the process of going towards a $15 minimum wage, and on their strategy would achieve it before Bernie's bill would. They'll do it within 2 years. And that applies to a lot of other states as well. And New Hampshire and Delaware had both of their senators vote against it. And in both of those states, they're really small states, so it's a much bigger deal for them. It's like they're acting like mayors. But the median income, the median salary in both those states is closer to $30 an hour. And even in the case of New Hampshire, at the 25th percentile, at nearly the lowest actual functioning wage, which would normally be the federal minimum wage, it's already at $10 to $12. So that's one of the reasons why they're already on their, strategy. That's part of what's going on. Also, some people are saying in the chat room, get rid of the filibuster. No, hang on to the filibuster. Just make it a real filibuster. You guys, if you've been watching, know that this is what I've been advocating for a long time, that if you're going to filibuster, if you want to actually filibuster a bill, you have to talk the entire time during the debate period without stopping. You can't veer off the topic of the bill itself. If you try or you go to the bathroom, anyone else can, on a single vote, filibuster your filibuster since you took a break and said, can we resume regular debate? And then a simple majority would be enough to do that. That's how a filibuster should work. Again, sanctify the filibuster as an actual activity, not just a threat, and get rid of the anonymous hold. And you'll be in a much better place. Just saying. But insofar as this bill, the COVID relief bill, the American Rescue Act, which needs to pass, the $1.9 trillion, which will probably be closer to 1.7 now that they've narrowed who can get a stimulus check and where it goes and the like. And a lot of it is grants that will either be used or not used depending on whether the state's open or not. And since most of the blue states end up paying for the red states, and a lot of these red states are refusing to stay closed, they won't have the option to use a lot of these grants. So the actual projected number is probably closer to 1.6, but nobody wants to talk about that because from the Democratic side, it'll look like they're walking back and getting rid of money. And on the Republican side, it looks like they're attacking it. So everybody's pretending it's still $1.9 trillion, which it isn't, Lord. So understand, though, that bill, again, I cannot state this clearly enough. That bill, if you add the $15 minimum wage amendment to it, when it goes back to the House and it gets bounced back to the Senate, if it's still in there, it cannot be passed with reconciliation. It can be passed if you have 60 votes. And right now we have a coin flip in the Senate. You want to solve these kind of problems? You're going to need to drum up 10 more Democratic seats, not threaten them that you're going to go vote for the next best Trump next time around. That's just the reality. So I hope that clears up some stuff. Yeah, my tail is very short today. Summer said it looks like Molly's tail, our cat that had her tail amputated, that I'm walking around kind of like with a genuine ponytail. Clop, clop, clop. I'm sure it will move around while I'm performing. I hope that clarified. Thank you guys, by the way. Thank you, Elove, for subscribing. Thank you, Norman Fox, as well. And thank you, Rexmo, for the subscriptions as well and the gift subscriptions to other people. Welcome, TLK Knitting. I hope you enjoyed the raid yesterday. Raid! And thank you, everybody, for joining us. Don't forget to support the show using stars if you're on Facebook, Super Chats if you're on YouTube, Twitch. You can bit and scream and cheer and all that kind of stuff. And you can, of course, subscribe on all those aforementioned things. And then Twitter Live / Periscope. I don't know what we're going to do. Honest to God, I don't know how. There's a Venmo. Try help me. I don't know. You could really help. But either way, welcome. Thanks for being here. I want to start off with a bit of good news. Now the audio is really low on this, mainly, and it's not because of the White House. It seems like whoever posted this, audio-wise, you can hear the clicks of the cameras really loud, but the voice is very quiet. So I'll try and be very quiet so it doesn't interrupt it too much.
We're about to have an economic meeting.
It says we're about to have an economic meeting, not meaning, but, automatic closed captions being what they are.
I want to make a few very brief comments. Today's jobs report shows that the American Rescue Plan is urgently needed in our view. Our economy still has 9.5 million fewer jobs than it had this time last year. And at that rate, it would take 2 years to get us back on track. We have 1 million fewer educators, 1 million fewer educators than we did this time last year. We've lost 400,000 small businesses. All those empty storefronts aren't just shattered dreams, they're warning lights that are going off in state and local budgets that are being stretched because of the lack of tax revenue. And some last month's job growth is a result of the December relief package. But without a rescue plan, these gains are going to slow. We can't afford 1 step forward and 2 steps backwards. We need to beat the virus, provide essential relief, and build an inclusive recovery. People need the help now. In less than 2 weeks, enhanced unemployment benefits will begin to expire for 11 million people. At least 7 million kids don't have enough food to eat on a regular basis. 13 million people are behind in their rent. And the rescue plan is absolutely essential for turning this around, getting kids back to school safely, getting a lifeline to small business, and getting the upper hand on COVID-19. That's what we're going to be talking about now, so I thank you all for coming on in. Thank you.
By the way, okay, so they clear out the news. You can hear how loud those things are. Wait, listen to this, what one of the reporters yells on the way out the door.
Mr. President, when will you unveil your Build Back Better plan?
Mr. President, when will you unveil your Build Back Better plan? I know. Last year during the campaign. I mean, honestly, that's when they actually, that's when they actually brought it up. I'm just saying, hype train. Thanks for joining the hype train, everybody, and welcome to the show. And how are you? All right, we're gonna. Boy, there's a lot today. First of all, can we jump in on the Dan Bongino show? Bongino, I'm looking for a TV for my bunghole. For Bongino. Dan Bongino is, one of the the millionaires behind Parler, who really just felt, I mean, he's lucky to have a shoulder as big as Glenn Beck's to cry on about the money lost because Parler allowed all of their user data to be hacked because they were cheating their users by using demo versions of security software. No, it's not because of that. It's because cancel culture. I had to jump ahead in some of this. I don't watch Bongino's show, but he basically owns Rumble at this point. There is no point where Bongino isn't the number one show that gets boosted on Rumble. And it's always around the same number. It's always around 3,000 and about 30,000 views in that ballpark. I think they sometimes crust up into 100,000 views if they buy them. But the Rumbles themselves, which people pay for, almost the exact same number all the time. But I wanted to show you how they're... let me see if I can back this up. He's playing a little game. It's after ExpressVPN. He's playing a little game, which is, can you tell the difference between communist China and America under Joe Biden? So yeah, you get where I'm saying? Like I'm gonna read you a headline: is it America or is it China? That kind of thing.
To the perception of
loudness, not necessary. Good
reality
Lord.
of basic rights and freedoms in the United States. The report by this Freedom House concluded. Sorry, I'm getting an itch there.
It happens.
Trump did this?
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, we are losing freedoms.
Uh-oh.
But it has absolutely nothing to do with Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's not... If we're still losing him, he can't do anything. He just cheats at golf for a living now.
Last time I checked, Joe, it was Donald Trump whose freedom was taken away.
How is his freedom taken away? Is he in jail already? Do we miss it? Fuck!
Freedom to sell his products with Salesforce. Freedom...
Huh? Freedom to sell his products with Salesforce? What?
The payment process on their website by getting deplatformed by Stripe. Being deplatformed and taken off Twitter, deplatformed.
Oh, he lost his right to use another company's platform to make money. Oh, I thought, sorry, for a second there, I thought the federal government had taken some of his rights away, and I just realized that some of the companies that he was working with didn't want to support him because he's a scumbag. I see.
And taken off Instagram, deplatformed and taken off Facebook.
And those companies and their employees were exercising their freedom to not have to carry his water.
Is it really Donald Trump?
Yes, it's really Donald Trump.
Who's the one taking away freedoms? Or is Donald Trump a recipient of the bohica from the freedom takers?
The bohica from the freedom takers. Freedom takers, they're the worst. Bongino is a freedom maker. Yeah, I mean, that did it. I mean, honestly, how does that not... I had no idea I could win an argument so easily. I should just snap and look away. That was easy. Shit. Dan, wake up.
It's not Donald Trump taking away your freedoms. The report's right. The conclusions are absurd.
Oh, it's terrible.
It's the big tech.
Yeah, it's a big tech taking... How?
Liberal big business.
Liberal big businesses. They're everywhere.
Venom Eddie Brock symbiote that's doing...
The Venom Eddie Brock symbiote. Venom is Eddie Brock's symbiote. I don't know how... corporations are now Venom from the...
doing all the hard work.
Yeah.
Dan, don't be so dramatic, right? Come on. We're surely not going down the Chinese Communist Party's path of diminishing individual liberty. Not us. I mean, we're liberals in the United States. We're all about civil liberties, right? Ha!
Ha! I'm just saying... We may have a new contender for the most Alfie host.
That's hilarious.
Ha! Hey, Willie, where's the cat?
Let's do a little comparison
Let's do it.
here of China versus the United
Yeah,
States.
China versus the United States. United States or China? China or the United States? Yeah,
Let's read. I want you to do, now. Here's how we're going to go through this.
I'm very excited.
I want to read these headlines,
Well, please do.
and in some cases, little screenshots from
Yeah, I mean, 6 of one, half an inch of the other.
the pieces. And then I'm going to put up another headline.
Okay.
We're going to do China first, and
All
then
right.
the United States second.
Well, are you supposed to tell me before you do it? Aren't I supposed to guess?
And you'll notice one thing. The headlines sound one awfully similar. And if the headlines were reversed, in other words, one story was about the U.S., the other story.
Then you weren't supposed to say the China one was first and the America one was second because we were supposed to guess, and now you're having to explain the whole fucking game. That's not good. That's not helpful. 637. We got a new patron. Thank you.
Stories about China, and then they were reversed. It would sound still like the same story.
Yeah, would see basically. I mean, they're in English, right? Okay. At least we can. I mean, that does kind of give us a heads up.
So here's number one here. This will be in the show notes today if you want to access.
Yeah, I downloaded them earlier or whatever and stuff. I haven't had a chance to. I'll get to them later.
That's our newsletter show notes. Go to bongino.com/
Yeah, that's right. I mean, it's the only reason I go there.
newsletter. It's free.
Yeah,
Please
it's free.
subscribe.
Why would you pay for it?
FoxNews.com. What is China's social credit system, Brad?
It's a system the government uses that if somebody commits a crime or does socially unacceptable things, they basically, it makes it harder for them to get work and do jobs. It's a communist-based thing, but it lowers their station so that they don't have access to better jobs. It's incentivizing Chinese people to not be assholes in theory, and it's a scary internal. I mean, it is literally a government executed system. The government does it to the people, and they're not voted on. These are members of the Communist Party, and they get to pick what the standards are. And if they break them, they can also wipe theirs away. It's that's what that is. I'm sorry, Fox News was going to tell you.
Bedford Betts, published May 3rd. China has a social scoring blacklist, Joe?
Yeah. That was a story like 2 years ago.
Gosh, that sounds really bad, doesn't it? Here's what it is.
What is it?
China's social credit system is a government program being implemented nationwide to regulate its citizens' behavior
I mean, I think my explanation is a little better, but
based on a point system. Under the system, citizens are ranked in different areas of civil life using data collected from court documents, government or corporate records, and in some cases, citizen observers. That
wait a minute, you're going to tell me that's not China at all, it's America?
sounds very, very bad. I
Yeah, it does. And?
don't think if I was a liberty-loving patriot, I would really like that. A social scoring system where China, the Communist Party, can blacklist.
I think you probably would have been out at the whole communist part. I don't know that you would have been, like, I was totally happy under communism until this shit showed up.
People if they don't meet certain metrics from the government spying on them. Court documents. You got a traffic ticket in China, you lose 10 points in your scoring system.
Well, it's a little more complicated than that. See, in China, they don't have regular car insurance. So if you injure someone with your car, you have to take care of them. You have to pay out to the family. So a lot of people, if they hit somebody with their car, they back over them and kill them so that they could just have one payment instead of having to pay for the injured person the rest of their life. It's a fairly screwed up system. So they obviously keep track of things like that. But please go on about traffic.
You posted on Chinese social media something criticizing your local government officials, that's minus 10.
Well, not necessarily if it's the locals, because you might be doing it on behalf of the greater Communist Party, like happened during early COVID.
Citizen observers said Joe Armacost, he sounds like a dissident. I don't like this guy talking and speaking out against communism and socialism. 10 more points gone from Joe. All of a sudden, Joe's at a negative 30.
Oh.
Joe can't get a car loan in China. Joe can't buy stocks in China.
Nobody wants stocks in China.
Joe can't get a job in China because of his...
Well, I mean, if you get assigned a job if you don't have one, and He would get one. It would just suck.
social scoring system. That's definitely not happening in the United States, Joe.
No, it isn't.
Is it? Because here's a Wall Street Journal article I thought was just fascinating.
A Wall Street Journal article he thought was just fascinating. Please tell us what Rupert Murdoch's newspaper is telling us.
This is from February 9th, 2021. Providing timely ESG
Well, it's timely as in February 9th.
information is becoming more crucial for CFOs.
Providing timely ESG information is becoming more crucial for CFOs. Analysts and investors rely on data when evaluating a company's outlook and creditworthiness. A company. Please continue.
Analysts and investors rely on data when evaluating a company's outlook and creditworthiness.
When did that happen? What the shit?
An ESG score? Wait, is this a story about China's social credit scoring? No, this is a story about the United States and businesses doing the exact same thing.
You mean when they choose who to actively invest in?
You doubt me? From the Wall Street Journal story.
Yeah, I kind of do.
They call these ESG scores, sustainability, environmental scores. ESG scores for companies. Companies are doing what the Chinese Communist Party does for them.
Oh, so the U.S. government isn't doing this. This is voluntary, and if it obviously has something to do with their bottom line, their ability to make money, so people are investing based on those ESG scores because it makes it more likely or less likely, probably in some cases, depending on the score, to make them a profit. So somebody's got a really off-the-hook ESG score, they might actually go, no, they're all about the environment. They're not producing a product even anymore. They're gonna get wiped out. Or maybe I'll just buy a stake and sit on it till somebody buys them out and fixes it. Or, all right, never mind.
They don't need the Chinese Communist Party. From the Wall Street Journal. Providing frequent updates about the sustainability of their businesses is becoming...
The sustainability of their businesses. Okay, you mean for a business to stay around?
More crucial for finance chiefs as analysts and investors increasingly rely on this information when evaluating a company's outlook and its creditworthiness.
Yeah, that's what never mind.
Here's the key line coming up next.
Uh-oh.
Pay attention to the yet here.
Oh, boy.
Not the Yeti, the yet.
Yeah, it's important.
This is not a search for the abominable snowman.
Oh, good. All right.
Pay attention to the word yet. There aren't yet sweeping global regulatory frameworks that force swaths of companies to report their performance in terms of these ESG scores. Though
environmental, social, and governance. Okay.
certain exchanges, Joe, and governments are making ESG disclosures mandatory. But even without widespread regulation, there's an incentive for executives to disclose this data.
You mean because it actually points towards better profitability as far as your environmental standards later on, and that more than likely, let's say if you have really good ESG, you're not going to end up paying out $16 billion to clean up an oil spill, or you have to recall some sort of plant killer that causes birth defects if you have a decent ESG. So if I'm going to invest in that company and I look at their ESG score, I can go, oh, this company isn't run by assholes, and therefore they might be around longer, and it's voluntary, and companies are doing it. I mean, what is the difference between this and China? Basically, corporate America is China right now.
Dude.
I mean, how do you even?
Liberals.
Yeah, liberals. Yeah, it's the liberals at Monsanto and Dow Chemical and day traders and angel investors. All those friggin' liberal angel investors.
Yeah, we're not anything like China.
We're not. The government in China does this on an individual basis based on human behavior, and this is investors choosing how to invest based on how long the company will be in existence. All right.
Social scores and blacklists for people. Yeah, we're doing the same thing here with these ESG scores.
No, we're actually not. I mean, people, we've always had credit scores
for companies. That's different. It's the free market doing it.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That sounds great. Free market that's more powerful, by the way, than the Chinese government in some respects. Now,
What? Honest to God, I don't know what the fuck he's angry about.
we're nothing like China. All right, Dan. So there's a scoring system, dreaded air quotes, for the citizens that we're taking the Chinese model and implementing it here in the United States for businesses. But it's really not that bad.
Well, we're not. We literally aren't.
Don't exaggerate this one case. Oh, no.
Excuse me. I'm allergic to bullshit.
No, I never, ever produce receipts on just one case. You need multiple pieces of evidence, right? That's how you build the case.
Sure.
So let's compare China versus the U.S. in the second segment,
Yeah. I mean, you nailed it on the first one.
too. So here's an article in The Atlantic about the Chinese surveillance state, how they spy on their citizens.
Okay, so they spy on their citizens. The government spies on their citizens. Is that what you're telling me?
The Atlantic. China's surveillance state should scare everyone. The country is perfecting a vast network of digital espionage as a means of social control with implications for democracies worldwide. That sounds really scary. Surely we're not doing that here.
Yeah, we're not.
Sorry, wrong show if you thought I wasn't going to produce evidence that we're doing that here too in conjunction with our big tech, liberal, big business overlords.
Oh my God! Don't tell me. Are you going to start telling me that those ads that come up on the web are based on shit I've bought before?
The Eddie Brock Venom symbiote. It's
Why is it always Venom?
all a big symbiote. They can't
It's all a big symbiote.
Exist without-
symbiote.
one another. Article we discussed the other day by the great Alam Bakari at Breitbart, who's been all over this topic.
Yeah, he's got it nailed down. Who?
Microsoft and friends want to destroy online privacy.
Oh, okay. Well, gee, it's a headline on Breitbart. I mean, what more do you actually need?
Huh? They want to spy on you online kind of sounds like what the Chinese Communist Party is doing to its citizens now. We don't need the Chinese Communist Party here. We've got the big tech, liberal, big business Eddie Brock Venom symbiote.
You mean Microsoft? How are they going to do it? Can you do me a favor? Can you read the third paragraph? Bongino. Read the third paragraph of that story to me, if you don't mind. Christ almighty.
From Bakari's piece.
Yeah.
Remember this gem from the other day?
Yeah, totally. I remember it. No.
And by gem, I mean piece of coal. According to
I see.
Microsoft's press release, it's partnered with several other organizations to form the Coalition for Content Provenance and Authenticity, the C2PA. Put simply, the purpose of this organization is to devise a system whereby all content on the internet can be traced back to its author.
Okay, so this is about like securing the rights to your own material. So if you post a song online and it ends up getting some reach, it can go back to, let me guess, video, documents, audio, images?
You mean like surveillance?
No. Means like intellectual property rights.
The press release states it will develop these specifications for common asset types and formats, meaning videos, documents, audio, and images.
Okay. So your big concern is, let's say Dan Bongino and his buddies at Breitbart want to post some child porn, but they don't want people to know they filmed it themselves. So they're worried that will... No, I'm sorry. It's because they're going to release an indie rock album.
Thought you'd be able to go online and not have the government and the big tech government, big business symbiote spy on you? You were wrong.
How are they going to spy on me? It's already out in the open. The image is out there. They're not looking at my window at drawings I'm making. I'm posting things online. They would just know who posted it, where it started, who owns it.
Come on, Dan. Those are just two examples.
Yeah, they don't have anything to do with each other and they're insane. But please continue. Give us a third.
Of the surveillance state in China versus the surveillance state in the United States.
Which doesn't exist, but please go on.
Chinese social scoring blacklist system. You get a score versus the U.S. doing the same thing to businesses?
No. The U.S. isn't doing it to businesses. Businesses are doing it to businesses.
But I'm still not worried because I'm a liberal and I've got a skull 6 feet thick and facts don't really...
Skull 6 feet thick. 6 feet thick. That's a big head motherfucker.
Penetrates like a lead blanket for an x-ray.
Sure, it would be.
You're going to have to show me something else. Okay, I will. Don't
Okay, great. No. The first two were awesome. Please follow up, Dan Bongino.
worry. That's what I'm here for.
Yeah, I know. I thought really you were just sort of single-handedly attempting to keep Rumble afloat.
Here's an
Asshole rambling about stuff he doesn't know what he's talking about. Oh, no, sorry. Go ahead.
online outlet called Quartz.
Yeah. I mean, can you trust them, though?
Quartz reporting on NGOs and basically charities as well under threat and
Not non-governmental organizations, a.k.a. charities?
China's latest crackdown against foreign forces.
Okay.
So what is China doing? Well, from this Quartz piece, they're cracking down China on charities and NGO non-governmental organizations and that kind of stuff.
Uh-huh.
A new law targeting foreign NGOs is effective as of January 1st, requires groups to submit themselves to greater government control if they want to continue working in China. They must find government sponsors, register with the police, and submit annual reports on their financing, among other requirements.
Right.
Ooh, that sounds bad. China cracking down on charities and NGOs, non-governmental organizations, making them register with the government and surveilling them. I don't know, Joe, but that sounds really terrible.
Yeah.
Combine it with the surveillance state and the social scoring system we're implementing.
Yeah, it sounds really scary. I mean, I know Dan Bongino really wants to run a charity to fight hunger or protect the Uyghurs in China, and now he's just too afraid.
Here in the United States, copying in many cases the big business, big tech, liberal, their golden calf of China, copying them, worshiping them, chanting at the foot of the Chinese Communist Party.
Is that what the chant is? I'm not up on my most recent chants or whatever. I thought it was still Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. No, that's Japanese.
Golden calf. Don't worry, LeBron James said it's okay. LeBron James said it's okay. You got to chant when you worship China, like the liberals. You need that chant. What was the Raiders of the Lost Ark chant? I always get to remember in the desert where they're digging and they're looking for the Ark and they're all chanting.
You mean the Arabs?
Gosh, I always forget how that goes. Think a second. How is it? I chanted it one time on the show.
I thought you were kidding. I thought he was actually going to go, Oh, Marihani, oh, no wind, oh, Marihani, among the wind.
Oh, remember?
Yeah,
We're
you
going to
did.
have to go with the
Long time ago.
generic. Remember that? Mm-hmm. The generic.
That's not what it was at all. That's, yeah. Why were we going with the generic? I don't know what the fuck this is.
Where the liberals kneel before their Chinese gods, small g, and overlords. Wow, you guys got a cool social scoring system to spy on people and give them a score? How do we do that here? You're surveilling your city?
Yeah, well, you're going to have to do it by getting the biggest corporations and the largest international corporate investors and having to make them do it themselves. Because your government, you obviously can't do this kind of stuff without a warrant. Otherwise, you're going to have to do it on a corporate structure. You real liberals, you guys know all the giant corporation boards, right? You guys are buddies with them.
Citizens online, how do we do that? You're cracking down on charities and NGOs. How do we do that too? Well, Philip Stutz has the answer at this article at The Federalist.
Oh, The Federalist. Okay, thank God. I thought you were going to go to Breitbart again.
Big tech censorship is now hitting completely non-political businesses and nonprofits. This is not a joke.
Oh.
No. Your show is.
This is not a joke. These are real headlines.
How? What? How does the U.S. government have anything to do with this?
These are real headlines.
Yeah, I believe that. They're just from The Federalist and Breitbart, so who the fuck thinks that's real? So
our liberal overlords who worship the golden calf of China, the Chinese Communist Party. They look, because they're communists themselves.
Oh, is that? Oh, I see. Good. Yeah, I couldn't figure out why. I thought it was just because they liked that they were shiny.
They are our liberal overlord. They love communism and socialism and authoritarianism.
But they are anti-fascist. Can we agree on that?
The radical left loves fascism, like Antifa, which is a pro-fascist group,
Oh, I didn't realize. I thought the name was something else. Okay.
despite their name.
So it's ironic.
They emulate their tactics.
They do?
China's cracking down on charities and NGOs. How do we do that here? Go to our big business, big tech overlords, too. They'll help us out.
How are they doing it? What, I mean, obviously, Twitter isn't stopping the Red Cross from helping or hasn't attacked, Habitat for Humanity. Like, nobody has to, you don't need a Twitter account or a Facebook page to operate a chapter of Habitat for Humanity. I mean, it might help to gather volunteers,
But nothing to worry about, libs. You're the useful idiots you've always been.
Oh, good. Just arrived. Someone catch me up. Is this demonstration of how cranial damage leads to terrible YouTube content? Yeah, pretty much, Bridget. Dan Bongino is basically always the #1 show on Rumble. And we're here to find out why. And it's really because of gems like this. I mean, nobody quite breaks the news down in a way it can't be put back together in any functional form of a sentence. Again, kind of better than Dan Bongino.
By the way, I shouldn't talk about how I'm going to end the show today because it's important. But
Yes, I think it's important that you end the show today for good.
do not miss the end of the show, please. Even
No, I'll skip to the end.
if you've got to run, I don't care if you have to fast forward to the end.
Okay, good. All right. Yeah, well, let's do that then, because I got a lot of shit to talk about. Let's go to the very end. How far at the end? About this far? Words of warning to America. That sounds like it.
Suffered under the Iron Curtain of communism.
Terrible.
He always had sage words.
Did he? He just would burn his words and walk around the room going,
There are two quick quotes here, but the first one,
Uh-huh.
he talks about the dangers of calling in wolves to rescue you from the dogs.
Yeah, I wouldn't advise that. I don't think necessarily, why do you need rescuing from the dog?
Now, when I'm reading this quote, I want you to keep in the back
Wouldn't you call in the dogs to rescue you from the wolves? I mean,
of your head. If you're a liberal, if you're a conservative, you'll probably get it right away because you're smart. If you're a liberal, you won't.
yeah, probably. I probably won't be able to figure out what the fuck you're talking about. That's true.
But if you're a liberal calling in the big tech dogs to battle your conservative political opponents to do the work for you, please.
Well, no, I don't do that. I talk to them directly. I don't need any help from them to take a big giant shit on your idiocy. I do it every day.
Please cancel them for me. Take them off Twitter. Take their books down. Be careful calling in a wolf like big tech to rescue you from the dogs. Solzhenitsyn said this in his speech. He said, quote, "We have a Russian proverb. Do not call a wolf to help you against the dogs."
Yeah, we gathered that. You said that before.
If dogs are attacking and tearing at you, fight against the dogs.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, you're not just gonna, spread your legs and take it. You're not gonna call for more peanut butter.
But do not call a wolf for help.
No, I'm pretty sure that's sage advice right there.
Because when the wolves come,
What'll happen?
they will destroy the dogs. But they will also tear you apart.
Oh, I get it. All right. I'm gonna guess in Russian it was probably a lot shorter. It was tighter. It's kind of like a violent dogfight haiku. In Russia, man bites wolf. Yeah, sir. Take a moment. Bongino, don't let them upset you.
If you're a useful idiot out there
Uh-huh.
who thinks calling in the big tech wolves to do the dirty work you can't yourself, remember,
Uh-oh.
after they're done with the dogs,
Meaning you, I guess.
they tear you up next.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Well, Instagram's going to come for me. Whatever shall I do?
No, not me. I'm protected. I'm a liberal. You sure about
Yeah, I'm totally protected. I'm streaming on 4 different sources, and all I got to do is toe the Communist Party line, and they just leave my shit up. And I've never had some rando dude copyright strike me and bring me down off an. Oh, wait a second.
that?
Mm-hmm.
Famous last words.
Sure.
Here's a powerful quote I want to end with,
Please. Yeah. Let's bring it home.
where Solzhenitsyn was talking.
Oh, we're going back to Solzhenitsyn. So, okay. Is it more wolf shit, or is this one have to do with cats? Because I have,
Talking about the dissidents in the
Right.
USSR.
The dissident is here. Right. Like Eddie Vedder kind of style. At home, drawing pictures of mountaintops with him on top. Right. Lemon yellow sun.
The patriots, the people who fought for freedom despite being tortured, killed, imprisoned, murdered, starved to death.
Oh, yeah, and their Twitter feeds removed. Their inability to stab a cop with a flagpole removed. They're not getting organic snacks in jail on a schedule that makes sure that they can keep their abs tight.
Families wiped out. After decades of living under tyranny. And I say this at the end of the show because I get emails a lot. I've told you about this often, and they're very upsetting from people
Yeah, I would imagine so. A lot of long sentences, big words. It can be very, it's hard to get through.
who say to me, Dan, we lost the election.
Yeah, they're right. Yeah, that would be very upsetting. But
I'm done. And I say to you all the time, like I said in my CPAC speech, no, there's no done. There's no excuses. I'm sorry.
no, there's no done. You can't be done. No. You're not done. Because if you're done, and you tell me you're done, you're going to go on a list, and I'm going to keep that list or whatever, and we're going to give you a lower conservative credit score.
Sorry, there's no done. If you're looking for me to sympathize with you, you got the wrong guy in the wrong show.
Yeah, that's pretty evergreen.
There is no done.
No, there is no done.
People who've suffered far worse, torture, death, starvation, their families wiped out,
Their entire Instagram catalog claimed by somebody else.
and suffered for far longer, never gave up their fight.
No, but enough about the Kardashians.
Here's Solzhenitsyn on the dissidents.
The dissident is here.
And remember, true dissidents never, ever, ever have a safe space.
Why not? I mean, a lot of dissidents have actually resulted in change in their country, and then good portion of them actually end up in charge. Okay.
Ever.
Ever. All right, ever.
Quote Solzhenitsyn. We, the dissidents of the USSR, don't have any tanks. We don't have any weapons.
Nope.
We have no organization. We don't have anything.
Nope.
Our hands are empty.
Terrible.
We have
This is September 1975, by the way.
only a heart and what we've lived through in the half century of this system.
Yep.
And when we found the firmness within ourselves to stand up for our rights, we have done so. It's only by firmness of spirit that we've withstood. And if I'm standing here before you, it's not because of the kindness or the goodwill of communism, not thanks to détente, but thanks to my own firmness and your firm support.
There's a lot of very firm people. Very firm. All right.
They knew that I would not yield 1 inch,
Not one firm inch.
not 1 hair.
Not one firm hair.
And when they couldn't do more, they themselves fell back.
That's what it was. Yeah. Because after the firmness is gone, they kind of just flop to one side or another. Yeah. I know. Yeah. Dan, let's just have a moment.
Powerful.
It is. It was even more powerful in 1975.
Centuries of tyranny these people had to deal with.
Well, no, I mean, he only lived to be about 78 years old.
They stood firm.
Well, so I read.
They didn't yield, quote, not 1 inch, not
No, not one firm inch.
1 hair.
Not one firm hair.
And when their opponents couldn't do more, they themselves fell back.
So beautiful.
Keep that in mind when you're thinking about giving up here.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about giving up on this show. Your show, not mine. Mine's great. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
We don't give up.
No. You give sideways.
There's no timeouts.
No, there's no timeouts unless you're really being bad, and then no Capri Sun for you, young man.
There's no pause button.
There's no pause button. Oh wait, I just paused you. Shit.
There's no
I paused you again.
yield sign.
Oh, there are no yield signs. That's just rude.
There's only straight ahead.
Yeah, there's only straight ahead. Thank God, because it's not like you could drive or anything. What?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in.
Oh yeah, no. We all learned so much.
Another great week of show.
Yeah, it was terrific.
It was thanks to you. I really appreciate your continued loyalty to the show. If you wouldn't mind sharing it, I really.
Yeah, I mind. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm moving on. Sorry. Oh my God, what happened to Bill O'Reilly's face? Good God. I don't know what this reminds me of.
Butthole!
I'm trying to think of what does this really remind me of?
Butthole!
No, it's something else. It's
How, in the name of Zeus's butthole, did you get out of your cell?
It does. Yeah, it kind of does remind me of that a little bit. I'm not doing both of these. This is Bill O'Reilly, who wants to tell us that Joe Biden is dangerous. Damn, son. Dangerous. I mean, I don't know how much danger he's talking about. Like the $30 million to keep your rape victim quiet kind of dangerous? Probably not. What's his show called? The First?
Joe Biden.
Yeah, he's president of the United States. 60% general approval rating, 62%. 70% approval rating for his handling of COVID so far. Sounds dangerous to me, Bill.
Now, you all remember, because I got tons of mail, when I said, hey, I'm a fair guy. I believe in Judeo-Christian philosophy.
Uh-huh. Not the application of it, but you believe it exists. Sure. Yeah.
And I'm going to give Joe Biden a chance, because he asked for a chance.
No, I didn't think he asked for a chance. I think he presented that we should give. He was magnanimous in it. He said we should give everybody a chance. He was actually.
So if you come to me and say, O'Reilly, maybe I did something bad in the past, or maybe I'm misguided, or what?
Yeah, if you just come and as long as you apologize to Bill O'Reilly first, he has no problem being No, Rumble is basically right-wing YouTube, kind of. I mean, there's this and there's HugeTube, which is hilarious and falling off the earth. But this is the one that actually has some sustainability.
But I'd like you to give me a chance.
Please, Bill, give me a chance. I mean,
because I'm going to try to live my life or do what I do in
yes, repent unto Bill O'Reilly.
a positive way.
Yeah. Dear Lord.
I'm going to give you a chance.
Oh, thanks.
I am.
You sure?
Unless I know you and I think you're a charlatan.
Oh, well then, shit. Now I'm back to square one. God damn it.
So I don't know Biden.
No, you don't. He doesn't hang in your circles. You know what I mean? You're in the dudes who paid $30 million to hide sexual assault charges kind of a crowd, and he isn't.
Met him once.
And I'm sure he still has scars emotionally.
I don't agree with his policies, but doesn't mean I'm not going to give him a chance. Well, now that's over.
Yeah, it's done.
That's over.
Yeah, no, I got it the first time.
As soon as he supported this bill,
Oh, terrible. What bill?
which is flat out unconstitutional, and if passed, would ensure Democrats win every election
Oh, don't threaten me with a good time.
forever.
Forever. That's a kind of a... That's the kind of Sieg Heil that Hitler used to do for himself. You know what I mean? Where he's just kind of...
As soon as he
Thanks,
supported
Francie.
that, I said,
Thank you, guys. Hi, Raphael. Yeah. What happened to Bill? Life.
this isn't a guy who wants the best for America.
No, definitely not. He wants everybody to vote. What kind of horror show?
Now, this is my opinion.
Well, we know. I mean, it's clearly not based on facts, you lunatic.
But I gave him a chance,
That was sweet of you.
and now I know that Joe Biden is dangerous.
Uh-oh. He's dangerous.
All right? I used to say he was befuddled, which is, of course, true.
I see. And you're not befuddled. So I shouldn't take that as a, like, kind of with a grain of salt.
Now I'm telling you,
Thank you, Andrew.
he's dangerous.
I heard Bill O'Reilly gave Governor Ventura a chance underneath the Denver airport, if you know what I mean. Absolutely. At one time, I took an elevator down into the underbelly of the Denver airport, and I found a small suitcase, and inside of it, there was nothing but a glowing light and a little tiny jar, and there was a little gray globule in the middle of that, and I picked it up, I undid the jar, and I rolled it out into my hand, and I started to squish it. I thought it was a booger. I was just squeezing. I was like, might be the biggest booger I've ever touched in my life, and I was rolling it like you do. And in the middle of that, my phone rings, and I'm squeezing this tiny little thing between my fingers, and it's all squishy and gray and lifeless. And I go, hello, and it's Bill O'Reilly, and he says, you're giving me a headache.
He's a lot more dangerous than Barack Obama was.
Well, sure. I mean, he's white.
There's a big difference
It is a big difference.
between the philosophy of Barack Obama publicly stated,
Yeah. I mean, beyond his own secret Kenyan Muslim thing. Yeah.
publicly stated,
Yeah, the public. You're going by the public one, not the whole thing where he's married to a man and he eats babies, right? Clearly.
and the philosophy of Joe Biden, who is absolutely
Catholic.
got Stockholm syndrome. You know,
Stockholm syndrome. Why would he have Stockholm syndrome? Can you hold yourself hostage?
what Stockholm syndrome is? Remember Patty Hearst?
Yes, I remember Patty Hearst and Stockholm syndrome. She was in with the crowd, and she eventually was part. Yeah,
Symbionese Liberation Army.
the Symbionese.
They kidnapped her, and she became one of them.
Uh-huh.
That's what Biden has.
Uh-oh.
The progressives have kidnapped him and Jill.
So he's dangerous because he's a kidnap victim. Yeah, they're the worst.
Held him in the basement
Sexy.
for all those months, and now they're part of the team. Yeah, give me a P.
I'm not going to pee on you, Bill. I mean, not for $30 million.
Give me a R.
Okay, you're not going to spell a whole word,
You
are you?
know, so Biden's
Pro? So he's a total pro is what you're saying. Gotcha.
dangerous. Biden doesn't want a vibrant democracy.
No, why would he want a vibrant democracy? Obviously, I mean, when more people voted than at any time in our history, he won by 7 million votes. How would that possibly lead him to believe that the more people that vote, the greater his margin would be?
He doesn't want spirited debate.
No, he doesn't. No, not at all. That's why everything's my way or the highway. End the filibuster. Eliminate it. Joe Biden has said, get rid of it. I don't want to hear about it ever again. We're going to pass everything with reconciliation. I don't care if it qualifies under reconciliation. I don't give a shit. I mean, Biden's just a beast.
He's not going to hold press conferences. They're calling him Hyden Biden on talk radio now.
Well, so? I mean, you called Tiller the baby killer, Tiller the baby killer, and he got killed. So?
All right, not going to answer any questions. Jen Psaki will answer them.
Yeah, he's working.
All Biden's going to do is what he's told.
Oh, I see. All right. So he's dangerously doing what he's told.
Now, who's telling him?
Yeah, that's the big question on my end.
Now, we've been over this and over this.
Yeah, but go with it again, because some of us have been ignoring you, Bill, for soul supportive reasons.
Susan Rice is telling him what to do.
Oh shit, Susan Rice. See, I thought it was going to be Kamala Harris, and yeah.
The consensus goes to Miss Rice.
Okay, so everybody gathers together. They tell Susan Rice, and then she whispers it into Biden's good ear.
Top domestic advisor, even though she has no experience in that area.
No, she has no experience in any area whatsoever.
At all.
No, not at all.
The only experience Susan Rice has is she's best friends with Michelle Obama. That's all.
She's never been in government before? Has Susan Rice ever served in government before? I can't.
She's a foreign policy expert. Well, okay. She's the one who misled the world about the Libyan situation.
Oh, the Libyans. I mean, if Doc Brown hadn't taken the plutonium, we wouldn't be in this mess.
All right, where the 4 Americans were murdered. Anyway, Susan Rice is the liaison to the progressive far left.
Okay, she's the liaison. Because the progressive far left loves anybody who tries to ratchet up any Middle Eastern wars. Got it, okay. Why are you not play, you dummy? Okay, there we go.
And they kick
Yeah.
it around, discuss it, whatever
Yeah,
it
they
may
just
be,
kick it
and
around.
then the conclusions come to Joe Biden.
Oh, I see. So they do have a consensus. They bring their conclusions to Biden as his advisors, and then he listens to them and either chooses to do what he's told or violates his Stockholm Syndrome. Okay.
So yesterday, Biden got 2. The first one was, yes, the bill
HR 1?
to make the elections corrupt, we're going to support that. And
That's what it's called. HR, the bill to make the elections corrupt, and we're going to support that.
And we're going to call the states of Mississippi and Texas and the other states who open up on COVID, we're going to call them Neanderthals.
Was that a consensus thing, or I mean, because it sounded pretty off the cuff from Biden. I mean, but that took a group. It takes a village to come up with a phrase like Greg Abbott's thinking is Neanderthal thinking.
That's what Biden called them.
Yeah, but did he really call him? I mean, basically Susan Rice called him that. She just had her hand up his ass, going, "Ladies and gentlemen, I don't. This is Neanderthal thinking." And then adjust mask.
Now, that was given to him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not that insulting. It was a secondhand insult.
He didn't make it up. And he mispronounced Neanderthal, which I did too.
You mean Neanderthal? Right? Seriously. Okay. Bill, I was playing along with this bullshit until just now. I don't know what the...
It's Neanderthal.
Tall.
I didn't know that.
That can be said about a lot of things, Bill.
But I don't care.
Yeah, I know. Obviously. Why would you?
A Neanderthal is a caveman. So
I got you. So just say caveman.
Biden slams Texas and Mississippi and any other state.
No. The leadership, and specifically the thinking that we're out of this when we're not. That wouldn't be everybody, obviously.
That opens up because the progressives don't want the government to open up.
Well, not until it's safe to do so.
Why? We went over this yesterday. Because
Oh, well, I wasn't here yesterday because I had life-affirming things to do.
they want a strong central government, and they're establishing that now
You mean a federal government?
with COVID to tell you what you can and can't do, can and can't have.
Yeah, you can and can't. You're not allowed to masturbate in a hurricane in front of a preschool, and that's still upsetting to Bill.
I think exactly what's
I
happening.
mean, it's like 3 laws you're breaking, 4, 7. But yeah,
Now, if you think that I'm
stupid, old, full of shit, gross.
exaggerating or
No, why would I think that?
I back every single thing up.
Yeah, okay, great. So back it up.
So the state of Florida, which from the very beginning in COVID took a moderate path, opposed to the state of California, which closed down the entire state, causing untold suffering. All right? California has more COVID cases than Florida.
How many people does it have? Per capita?
Yeah, population's a little bit more, but I'm doing
Yeah, I
proportion.
mean, just a little.
And the California governor, Newsom, he's on his way out. They got
No, he isn't.
2 million signatures to boot him out of there.
There's 40 million people in the state.
And that vote will be held in the summer
Yeah, totally. It will. Yeah.
because he's destroyed the state.
Terrible.
Whereas DeSantis, the governor of Florida, he
Was taking kickbacks from rich people to get it to the front of the line and getting vaccines, and
took a lot from the media, but that state is pretty vibrant now, Florida.
yeah,
And that's the best
it was literally the seat of the Tampa super spreader event.
comparison you could always
I mean, there's tens of thousands of people dead in other states because of it.
see. Now, did Biden say to DeSantis, hey, good job, Ron?
No, I mean, I don't know why he would shake his fist at him.
Good job. You know, you coasted that right through and you didn't destroy small business in your state and people are coming there and nice
Dying.
job. That's the way all states should be. Did he do that? I don't think so. He'd never do that.
No, he would never congratulate anybody on doing well. I mean, especially if they didn't.
Biden.
Yeah, I don't know who we're talking
So is he looking out for everybody? No, he's not.
about. No, he's just looking out for black people. Ick.
He's on the progressive train.
Right, the black progressive train. Very sleek, long, cylindrical, black progressive train.
I gave him a chance.
Well, that was nice of you. And then he started hanging out with all these. Oh, that's it? Really?
Bill O'Reilly.
That's an old picture, Bill. It's a very old picture. Oh God. Oh Lord. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Is there an organized effort? What is this? To destroy the guns. Uh-oh. Dirty. 69 rumbles. Nobody else give it another rumble. This is too good. Is there an organized effort to destroy our pillars of government? Well, I mean, besides the 6th and the people who are going to attack, 461 people watched this. This is killing it. And 69 rumbles. I mean, God. Does this guy ever get tired of being famous? Rudy, I have more people in my chat room on one site than watched your whole goddamn video. And by the way, this is about the time in the show where I should go, like and subscribe and share the show with your friends and all that kind of stuff. What I would like you guys to do is share this show to Rudy Giuliani right now. We need to cut out like this bit, like a couple of these, and I just want to start sending Rudy Giuliani what I'm doing with this show, because I really feel like I'm making origami out of toilet paper here, and it actually is turning out to be pretty darn impressive. Good God. Yeah. Here we go. All right.
Hello, this is Rudy Giuliani.
God forbid.
Welcome to another edition of Rudy's Common Sense.
Why are you reading it off of paper? Don't you know the name of your own show?
Before we get started,
Oh, we're going to turn your volume down is what we're going to do. Okay, go ahead.
I want to share with you an exciting episode that we have coming up.
Oh, man. How can you do that before you get started if it hasn't even been done?
That'll be episode number 120. And
Yeah, we're going to celebrate. You got to tell me.
I'll be answering your questions that you send in to me.
Right, we did that.
So leave your questions in the comment section below.
I don't think there is one on here.
Or email them to me at
info@rudygiulianics.com.
info@rudygiulianics.com.
Yeah, I know. That's why I've been trying to tell you. Keep telling people to tune into, go to rudygiulianicscommonsense.com, and that's the actual. Oh God.
That's info@rudygiulianics.com.
Yeah, we got it the first time.
When I answer your questions, I'll read your name
Uh-oh.
and what you wrote.
Okay, and then you'll hold up a really nice picture of me. Okay, good.
Unless you want to stay anonymous.
Well, of course.
You just let me know that.
I will.
I'm more than
I'll use hand gestures
happy to read your name and
not read your name.
and then respond. It's very, very important to me to get your ideas.
Right, because you have none of your own, and you still haven't produced the hard drive, and you were bullshitting, and now you've run out of shit, and and your son left the show to go work for Newsmax, I think. So you're fucked.
For any number of reasons, not
the least of which is that you're a boring old fart with one note.
least of which what we're engaged in right now requires everybody's thinking.
Everybody's stinking? Well, I think you got that covered. Everybody's stinking. All right.
In the last episode, I asked the question, why was it that God and religion were so excluded from the reaction to the pandemic when...
Oh, I know. Because the guy who was president when it started is a Darwinist who cloaks himself in evangelical Christianity and is lying through the whole thing.
God and religion played such a large role in the reaction to the September 11, 2001 attack on America?
I think it might be because in a lot of people's minds, that was a Muslim attack, and Christians and Catholics in the country and Jews in the country reacted to it from a religious standpoint. So you had the Abrahamic religions kind of fighting at each other, whereas when a disease rolls through, everyone has a different picture of where that disease lands in either part of God's plan or due to man's sins, or a lesson that one must learn in their own spiritual cleansing if they're, say, Buddhist or Wiccan or something.
So I want to go beyond that.
Good. I think that's wise.
I want to go beyond that.
Yeah, go beyond God, Rudy. Only you.
Because
Only you are the answer.
I still haven't come to a conclusion on that.
Well, I hope not, because that will be the end time.
And I do need your help on that.
I've got some help for you.
Like to have your ideas on why you think that's true.
Well, what if I don't think it's true? Would you like my ideas on how genuinely full of shit I think you are?
Because it'll help me formulate
an unoriginal idea
it'll help
that's based on anecdotal bullshit.
me formulate an opinion.
Okay, good.
But let's try a parallel analysis.
Sure. Yeah, let's do
That
that.
may help shed light on that and maybe the bigger picture.
Okay.
Is what happened to us just a question of the things that happened to us between 2000?
Wait a minute. Was that a fucked up edit? What happened there? Look at this. Hold on. Okay.
Why you think that's true? Because it'll help me formulate an opinion. But let's try a parallel analysis.
Sure.
That may help shed light on that and maybe the bigger picture. Is what happened to...
Yeah, okay. I thought that was me, but it was actually just a really, really shit... Yeah, he is loud. Sorry, I apologize. It changes.
Us, just a question of the things that happened to us between 2001 and 2020?
Yeah, I mean, nothing really happened in that amount of time.
The Iraq War, the Afghanistan War...
Yeah, it just kind of happened to us.
The
2008.
The recession in 2008. The election of Obama, the election of Trump, the partisan
Yes, nothing really.
issues that took place there and the bitterness that took place.
Yeah, the partisan bitterness around Trump insisting that the first black president wasn't born in the country and had no right to be the president.
The kneeling during the national anthem.
Yeah, I would rank that up with 2008.
The burning of the flags.
Yeah, all the flag burning.
And what was a pretty consistent attack on trying to drive God out of the public square. Was that the reason?
Sorry, hold on one second. Real quick. There was a giant attack on trying to drive God out of the public square. So someone's trying to drive God out, and someone's attacking that person. All right.
Or was it part of a bigger reason?
Yeah, it's probably something bigger than God, anyways.
Was it part of an effort
Yeah, I'm glad you wrote this down.
to destroy the pillars of our government so it could be replaced by another form of government, namely...
I see. Namely socialism, I'm guessing we're going to go to?
socialism.
Right.
Is that a deliberate plan that is taking place now and that has been taking place for a very, very long time? We'd have to go back and trace it.
I'm going to have to go with the Monica Lewinsky affair.
Decades back.
Yeah, probably. I think it started under Reagan myself.
I raise it as a question.
Well, no, you presented it you postulated it as sort of fact, essentially. You made an assertion.
Don't have the answer.
Well, okay, so regular show today?
But it's a very, very important question because there's no doubt now, today, we're dealing with the pressure to become a socialist country. I mean,
We are?
after all, at least 3 or 4 of the candidates for the Democratic Party nomination for president are avowed socialists. They want to make us a socialist.
You mean the ones that lost?
socialist country. First time that ever happened. I mean, Sanders was the first one who espoused socialism. That was in 2016. That would have been
This is the first time he did it?
unheard of in 2000.
Thank you, Rebecca. I need help on this one. This is fucking nuts.
He would have gotten 2 votes. And now, in 2020, there were, I can't remember, 5,
Yeah, something. Probably 2, probably 7. I mean,
6
yeah, 8,
people
13.
more than happy to identify themselves as socialist on the
Yeah, they're more than happy. It's giddy. It's a little awkward.
Democrat ticket. And of course, one
What was that noise?
of the major pressure points in the Democratic Party is that whole AOC, very far left, which is
That whole AOC very far left. You mean the squad?
clearly socialist
Are they?
in many ways,
Like what?
if you understand the history of socialism,
Yeah, I mean historically.
which I'm afraid not too many Americans do, and
No, not. Please school us.
we're going to try to cure that.
Well, good. All right, thanks. There's a cure for it. Ignorance is a disease, and Rudy is the cure.
It's really more Marxism that they espouse.
Well, I mean, yeah, but isn't it Marxism to create a socialist system, then into communism? Isn't that the whole pathway? Thank you, Julie. Appreciate that. No, thank you for being you. Thank you for being a friend.
Now, it's all very similar.
Yeah, it's all Marxist, socialist, the communism. I mean, basically, they're all bad words, and we use them.
Marxism, socialism, communism.
Sure, yeah. Corporate bailouts.
What is the progression of one to the other?
Yeah, but the syntax and the order is kind of important.
Marxism underlies both socialism and communism.
Well, it's the root political philosophy that both of them are based on. Socialism would be the way that you would get to communism in a USSR system, but that ultimately failed, and they recognized it.
There's no doubt
I'm going to guess there's some doubt.
that pride in America has declined since 2001.
Well, I mean, definitely the election of Donald Trump was America's standing amongst its citizens took a hit.
Just one example, a Gallup poll, which was taken in September 2020, only 63% of U.S. adults is very proud or extremely proud to be an American. 63%. Lowest level ever.
Yeah, in the last year of Trump's presidency. So Trump had been president for almost 4 years, and it lowered patriotism in the country inexorably. Do you have a chart where it seems to be going this way? Like Obama gets elected, everybody feels pretty good or whatever, and then Trump gets in, about a year in, everybody's like, "Oi." Because, I mean, your dude was president last June.
That's not a tough question.
Well, I don't know how it was phrased.
Very proud or extremely proud of being an American? I'd like to ask these people, what would you like to be?
Well, maybe an American circa 2012 as opposed to an American circa 2020.
Want to be Venezuelan? No.
Yeah, that's where most people would go right away.
But Chinese?
Yeah, or Chinese. I mean, basically you go straight communist or socialist.
Oh.
You wouldn't dare say, well, my family's from, Switzerland and Germany, and so kind of maybe there, I mean, that's where we're from, or Scottish and Irish, proud of that, of course, or whatever. I mean, I'm definitely proud to be an American, but, I think they would have opened a bigger conversation.
But why don't you become French?
Yeah, why don't you become French,
You can get a riot every Friday and Saturday.
Promises. Why don't you become French? You can have a riot every Friday and Saturday. Didn't we have that in Portland the entire time Trump was president? Yeah, why don't you just become an Oregonian?
Why don't you become English where they don't even have a right of free speech? They don't
Yeah, just do that.
have to think about it.
Yeah, they don't even have to think about free speech.
That's the lowest level that people have had pride in America since 2001. Mm-hmm. If something
Wait, who was mayor of New York in 2001?
concerns you, it should be that.
It's the lowest since then. Since George W. Bush and Cheney's response to 9/11? You seeing a thread here?
And then, want to make it a little bit worse, 4 out of 10 Americans from the age of 18 to 34 claim to be
Claim to be.
very or extremely proud.
So they're just regular old proud? That's a shame.
I would like to actually quiz those 18 to 34-year-olds on their knowledge of American history.
Yeah. Do you have the quiz in the front of your pants? I'm asking because some of them might not be of age.
Wonder if they passed my exam.
Ew.
I bet not.
Probably not. They'd probably run out of the room. You'd yell pencils down, and then we'd hear a fly zip, and then the room would empty.
Now we will take a short break.
Oh, thank God. I'd done too much thinking.
You never thought
Okay, God. You never thought you'd lose your house during COVID, but Trump's terrible running of the country nearly killed it. Filled with hackers and terrible people. Okay, here we go. Back up. Promo code Rudy.
Welcome back. Let's continue.
Yeah, let's.
Now, is this
No.
development because of what happened to us? Is this
No, it's because of leadership and the example Trump set, and it was embarrassing and awful.
because of
Children being separated from their parents and 8,000 of them being dropped in Juarez, unaccompanied in a town known for human and sex trafficking. Children, not, toddlers. Trump insisted. So did Stephen Miller. That might have dented the extremely proud crowd.
the attack on our history?
Yeah, a lot of people are just not as proud of the Confederate statues as they used to be.
The attack on the man who found America, the first president of the United States, and our greatest emancipator. That's
Columbus, George Washington, and Lincoln. Well, George Washington and Lincoln obviously were Americans. Columbus wasn't. He was, he and Cortez were both, European marauders. They brought English and Spanish to the continent, and slavery as well. So, granted, only 6% of African slaves in the Dutch trade came to the colonies in the United States, what would become the United States later. The vast majority of it went to South America. But, I'm sorry, I was supposed to pretend I don't know anything about history. My bad.
it seemed kind of odd. We tear down statues of Columbus, who found the country officially, right?
No, not officially. He didn't find the country. The country didn't exist. It was land. The country wouldn't exist for a couple hundred years.
George Washington, our first president, and Abraham
Well, our first under the Continental Congress, it was 9th,
Lincoln, the great emancipator who freed the slaves.
right?
We tear them down. We find things wrong with them. We make
Do we? Do we? Do we? Do we? Because I think one of the ways that I think you could really support the history of Abe Lincoln, for example, I'm just going to grab this one out of the hat, is by not putting up Confederate statues everywhere as if they are equal to him. Maybe the greatest attack on Abraham Lincoln has been the one that's been executed by Southern whites who are still grinding over the Confederacy for the last 85 years. Maybe it's the defense of those Confederate statues that is a constant and never-ending attack on Lincoln's legacy and an attempt to cancel Lincoln by installing statues of leaders of the Confederate movement, Confederate generals, and slaveholders. Because that sounds like canceling Lincoln to me.
them bad guys.
Well, if you believe that there's a heritage to be honored in Confederate statues, then yeah, you're going to think Lincoln's a bad guy.
That just happens because we just don't like him, or is it part of a plan
Oh boy, it's probably part of a plan. Probably, yeah.
to get you to hate America?
Right. Leaving the Confederate statues up would be a great way to prove your bona fides that you love America.
Or rip apart our shared legends of great American heroism?
Rip apart our shared legends of great American heroism. Paul Bunyan or what? Babe's Blue Oxen? I don't know what you're talking about either. I can't help you out here. It's on the paper. Just read it.
Or that we
Something. I don't know.
don't feel we're worthy of our position in the world as a leading nation? We just want to be one of any number of countries. America first, kind of great.
Well, no, it's about America first is a racist trope that the Klan used, and that's why Trump clung to it. You of course run for office with the idea that you're going to better the lives of all Americans, but doing it at the expense of humanity on the planet seems a little nuts, don't you think?
And
I don't know why you can't do both.
I mean, there's no question that there's been an unbelievable effort to take God out of the public square.
Really? Can you? Is God so weak?
And over the last year,
What public square are you talking about?
meaning 2000, and 20, we've never, ever in the history of this country
Never.
had such a massive assault on
Never.
the right of free speech,
How?
censorship over the Biden hard drive,
What Biden hard drive?
double standards for Biden and Trump.
No, Biden never yelled fire in a crowded theater. Trump did.
That's called censorship.
No, it isn't. Censorship when the government does it. It would be censorious if the government were to tell Facebook and Twitter and all these other sites that they must carry the words of the ruling party. See, in China, no social media company could deny a leader, president, or past their space online. Whereas in America, these private companies are allowed to have terms of service.
Or the attack on the importance of family.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. We needed people like you, Rudy, because all you were trying to do with that 15-year-old girl was start a family right there in that hotel room.
As part of what
Operation Fuck America.
makes a healthy, strong, patriotic society.
Okay.
And
You mean, right. You mean denying gay people the right to get married and adopt, and saying that the honor of marriage and the bonding of a relationship in monogamy and in fidelity is something to be aspirational that you would aspire to and you would want for everyone, and so you hold that standard to the highest level no matter what people's sexual orientation is, because it is deeper and more abiding than nah, I'm kidding. Just show your dick to a 15-year-old, Rudy. Go ahead. Tuck your mic in. Slipping out.
what can you even say about
I don't know. What can you even
the
say?
disrespect for the uniform? Whether
The uniform of family?
it's
What?
the uniform of a police officer or the military or...
Yeah, I know. I mean, did you see the 6? It was fucked up. Some old fart was yelling trial by combat, and like a half hour later, this cop gets blinded, another one gets beat to death, another cop, right after this lame fuck finished talking. Excuse me, my earpiece is falling out. I felt very professional in that moment. Right after he finished talking, this cop gets beat with a thin blue line flag. I mean, terrible.
The year 2020 was a disgrace
Well, 2021 kicked its ass in terms of police injury.
as far as Americans
136 in one day.
showing respect to the people who put their lives at risk to keep them alive. Show
What are you talking about?
with a country of...
Ugh, just gross. Rudy, you keep talking like this, you're gonna shave off some of those extremely proud numbers again.
too many ignorant,
Yeah,
self-important.
you're right. Look, Trump is probably watching. He's probably one of your 69 rumbles. Anytime, Rudy.
It's really sad
It is really sad.
because I know those people that are being dishonored,
Dishonored are the ones that were actually stabbed in the eye socket with a flagpole at your behest.
you see the whole group of them. One of them one night's not going to return. The whole family's going to be without a father or a mother.
Yeah, like Officer Sicknick.
We've seen too many of them. And you've seen too many of them.
Well, apparently you wanted to see more.
So is this
No, it's not by accident.
just happening to us, or is it
God hates us. Jesus hates. It's because we let gays get married, isn't it? It's like a tornado of sadness.
designed to happen to us to get us to dislike,
Yeah.
to disrespect.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I would.
So, like the Russians, for example, would be creating fake Facebook groups and having them battle against each other and supporting a candidate that's specifically divisive and then creating the illusion. Oh.
Go as far as to say to hate our country. Because it seems like it's pretty well orchestrated to get to that result.
Or you could be seeking a pattern to justify your xenophobia.
You don't burn the flag of a country that you respect.
Well, no. Yeah, but I don't burn the flag at all. But I allow it to be burned because it represents freedom, including the freedom to be burned, which is what makes it stronger and more valuable.
You don't kneel down during the national song, the national anthem.
Unless you feel like that song is not living up to, the country is not living up to the qualities in that song.
Of a country that you respect, when you know that a large percentage of the population, not all, will feel that that dishonors their service to that country.
Yeah, but if they would be led to believe that by other people, not by the people who are actually kneeling. Let's just say I'm spitballing here. There's like there's a crass, opportunistic politician, complete asshole, failed leadership, has no real strategy. He's been promising things like showing his taxes and a healthcare plan, and it's been infrastructure week forever, and he's been telling everybody that there are 12 cases of COVID, it's about to go to 0, and that guy sees this as an opportunity politically to distract from what his fucked up leadership by saying, look at these people over here who don't love our country. See how that would be bad if they took advantage of that.
Even dishonors the memory of loved ones who died for that country.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, when you mean like when that leader would go to Arlington and go, what was in it for them? That kind of shit?
You don't kneel down.
Yeah, and you sure as shit, if you can get out of battle, you pretend to have bone spurs.
You show your protest in some other way.
What other way is that? What other way is that? What's the suggestion? What would you be okay with, Rudy? Not showing up for work?
So,
yeah, think about it.
Could it be that this is part of a plan?
Yeah, totally. Aliens.
So you have to look to literature, which is something
Yeah. Look to literature. Sure.
18 to 34-year-olds don't do.
No, they don't. They don't look to literature.
Nearly as much. You have to look to literature.
Mm-hmm. Literature. You mean like the Turner Diaries?
And understand what's been written in the past. Because
Yeah, like Mein Kampf. That was like, one of your friends used to have it on his nightstand. I understand.
It can tell you what's going to happen in the future. I mean, for example.
Yeah. The works of Nostradamus. Is that what we're talking about?
If you read Hitler, you.
All right, I was kidding, but bang.
Would have known that he was going to exterminate the Jews.
Really? Did he just say it outright? You would have known he was going to, if you'd have read it, that was what we did. The whole U.S., and Europe and Churchill, they just didn't read Hitler.
And that he was going to try to conquer Europe. And instead of being Chamberlain, who caved into him,
Or like Trump to the bioweapon attack by the Chinese, because obviously the China virus was an attack, and Trump responded by selling them food.
It had been Churchill who stood up to him, who was thought of as being a warmonger, crazy, insane, an alcoholic.
But, no, that's you.
I don't know what else.
Yeah, probably. Just make something up then.
Sound familiar?
Yeah, it does. I'm looking at it.
Left-wing press, what they do?
The left-wing press in England in 1940?
Or you wouldn't have paid attention to Stalin.
You wouldn't have. No. I mean, obviously, his singing voice was stunning, but you would have just...
And the Communist Manifesto.
Okay.
If you paid attention, you might have saved 60 million lives.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was so distracted. I was playing Donkey Kong.
Or you would have paid attention to bin Laden.
Oh, you mean like you wouldn't have... I mean, we probably shouldn't have ignored the president's daily brief. That was my bad.
We're at war, except didn't wake up Bill Clinton.
What are you talking about? I'm sorry, did What year? Fuck. When did Clinton stop being president? Shit, you stumped me.
So I suggest reading.
Yeah. Read. I would go by date, and then you'll recognize that on 9/11 and in the year preceding, he wasn't. All right.
So I'm going to go to a book.
Okay.
That I'm going to ask you.
Yeah. Is there be a quiz? Yeah.
Does some of this book predict America?
Yeah, probably. What book is it going to be? 1984. What do you think? A Brave New World. Quotes from those. What do you think?
2021.
Yeah, probably.
The name of the book is one you're familiar with. It's not the only one of this type.
Yeah, no, there's lots of them.
We'll make
It isn't Matthew, Mark, Luke, or John, is it? Because that might fuck up your whole narrative.
reference to other ones as we move along.
Sure.
But it's Orwell's 1984.
Okay, good. All right, so I could have flipped a coin.
Now, it was written in 1948. Not
Weird. 84, 48, carry the 17. Clearly, Q knows what he's talking about.
1984. 1984 was picked as the future.
Well, yeah, in 1948, 1984 was technically in the future.
As far as I can tell, it didn't have perfect significance.
It wasn't perfectly significant, as far as you can tell. It didn't have perfect. It didn't happen in 1984 the way there was not a giant. Okay. Because I don't remember anything in 1984 that Reagan was president.
And it basically predicts a society in which socialism and communism wins out.
Okay. Is that the concern? Is the big fear in 1984 is the socialism and communism part?
And there's a great war.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The world is separated into three countries. One of them is known as Oceania. And Oceania is a combination of the United States, South America, and
Epstein's Island.
the United Kingdom.
Okay.
And he places the novel in Airport One, which is actually England, and in London, that portion of Oceania.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I got you.
And there's
There's a hot chick. She wears a hat most of the time.
it's a one-party state.
Okay. Well, do you need more than one party when it's us? I mean, it's us, people. Do you love America or not? Oceania.
It's controlled by Big Brother.
Uh-oh.
Sound familiar? We use that
Sound familiar? We use that term a lot.
term now for when the government takes over too much of the responsibility for us.
No, that's not what we use it. We don't the government has just taken over too much responsibility. No, we use it mainly when we're talking about spying.
use the term Big Brother.
Fucking hell.
And Big Brother is a
What is he?
caricature of Stalin
Sure.
or Hitler.
Oh, well, I mean, one or the other. I mean, obviously, Stalin killed more people, but Hitler was, had a more distinct and virulent form of hatred because it was centered on one people, whereas people felt like Stalin was less of a threat because if you just folded into his belief system, you could survive no matter what your race or your religion was, whereas Hitler was pretty much just kill everybody who isn't German, especially the Poles and Jews.
Probably more Stalin than Hitler, but
Yeah, probably. So I think it was the mustache.
but both.
Yeah, and the hairdo.
And he controls everything.
Great. Is that on the paper?
And let's see how much of that kind of reminds you of 2020 in America.
You mean when Trump was president?
In America,
2020 in America when Trump was president? We are in 2021 though, so. Or is it 2012? Oh my God! If you reverse the numbers like they did,
its main character, whose name is Winston, don't know if that was related to Winston Churchill or not.
No, it's named after the cigarettes.
But Winston is a
Tell us.
man who opposes.
Sure.
At the beginning, he opposes the dictatorship
Yeah, at the beginning, but then he's like this is sweet.
and sees how oppressive it is, and how much how much it's destroying the basic human values.
Yeah, because he grew up in it and he's known nothing else his entire life, so he immediately, though, is wise to the fact that it doesn't work, even though he's been in and of it the entire time.
In fact, he works in an agency, and his job is to rewrite history.
Well, I mean, obviously they picked the wrong guy.
To go back and
The hiring practice of Big Brother just sucks.
change history to fit what Big Brother wants for today.
Right, yeah. It colorizes stuff. It's like he works for the Turner Broadcasting Network.
So if they are allied with one of their two competitors against the other in a war,
Yeah.
then they write all very good things about the history of their ally and all
Oh, like the like putting up Confederate statues. I see. This is a lot.
very bad things about the history of their competitor. And then as soon as they switch,
Then you got to go back and change
he
it.
goes back and he changes all of that.
Yeah, you got to. So it's all rewrites. Yeah.
Just changes it all.
Yeah. So we pretend that like the South will rise again and that kind of bullshit.
All the bad things he was saying about the competitor, he now says about the new competitor, and vice versa.
And vice versa, the new competitor, he says about the old competitor what he used to say about them. You mean the ally and the opponent?
He is part of he's part of a group of people that rewrites history
Oh, he rewrites history. I didn't hear that part.
or destroys history.
Well, I mean, not if he's rewriting it because it was obviously fake in the first place. He's just making up a new history every time they change sides, and they're very fickle. Big Brother, he's like got kind of the mentality of like a middle school boy, doesn't know who his friends are.
Manipulates truths and facts in order to produce
Good God.
a behavior
Yeah.
that they want.
Yeah, they want people to think that their enemies are their friends and their friends are their enemies, and yeah.
And then to make sure it's done right, they have an organization known as the Thought Police.
Right.
The Thought Police investigate
Yeah, 1984 is pretty ham-handed. Yeah.
not just your writings and your sayings,
No, but they like your Instagram posts and yeah.
but your thinking.
Uh-oh.
So at the very beginning of the book,
So they hook you up to kind of a Scientology device?
Winston is keeping a diary. And he knows from the very beginning that he could be killed because it's illegal to keep a diary.
Like the Hunter Biden hard drive. I understand. Gotcha. I'm totally with you.
Not only is it illegal, it's very dangerous because then they're going to get to see your thoughts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And you would keep a copy of those things so you don't forget them.
And you can be executed for your thoughts, or more likely, you know what happens to you if you have bad thoughts or you
Boy, do I.
do things that are
Nasty and naughty and dirty, and you find yourself in a
not
hotel room.
considered politically correct.
Yeah, like sticking your hand in your pants in front of a girl you think is 15 years old. Like that kind of a situation. I'm just spitballing.
By the regime.
Oh, the regime.
You're unpersoned. Sound familiar?
No. No, it doesn't.
Sound like canceled?
No.
You're no longer a person.
Well, yeah, people who are canceled from venues or jobs or social media sites are still people.
They just declare,
I do declare you are unpersoned.
you don't believe in Big Brother? You don't believe that our changing of history was accurate, that we really were at war with these people when we say we weren't? I'm sorry, you're unpersoned.
It's great. It's a great description of it. Fucking hell.
Which means you no longer have a living, you no longer have a place to live, you no longer have a wife, you no longer
Well, all right. Again, don't threaten me with a good time.
have a family, just like
Just you're set free. You can start over from scratch. There's a lot of people out there that would get unpersoned on purpose, it sounds like.
they try to do that to someone who says something that they regard, when I say they, I mean the ruling elite in
Well, yeah, of course.
the United States,
Yeah, thanks. And by the way, don't think we didn't notice the one cheek snake.
which I guess if you want, you could sort of compare to Big Brother. That would put together big tech, big media, and the top people in the Democratic Party.
Why was this edit? What was that edit? That was a tight edit. What's happening? You can't just cut shit out like that. The middle of it. So these are there's the one-cheek snake. Okay, we know.
In the United States,
Uh-huh.
which I guess, if you want, you could sort of compare to Big Brother. That would put together big tech.
Big tech. Yeah, absolutely. Like Microsoft and Google and Bing. God help us. And okay.
Big media.
Big media, like the OAN, Newsmax, Fox trifecta.
And the top people in the Democratic Party.
Why the top people? I thought the top people were all puppets and they were run by the little people.
This is exactly what I almost gave you the definition of what it is to unperson in 1984.
Well, in 1948.
I wonder if they read that and kind of just copied it for canceling people. Time to take a short break.
Yeah, I don't know. He's canceling himself during this break. I never thought I would be canceled. Fucking hell. All right.
That's 833-GO-777.
Baba
or text
Rudy, set to
to
655-9425.
Thank you for coming back.
Oh, I never left. Oh my gosh. Thanks for buying. Thanks for getting a t-shirt.
This is policed by the thought police.
Policed by the thought police. Well, all right, they're in good
This
hands.
is their job. They're very busy.
They're very busy. They got a lot to do. They got a lot of thoughts. There's a lot of thinking going out there.
They keep looking at people to make sure they're not.
They're like, what are you thinking? Look at that guy. Thinking. What are you thinking about? Nothing. You're right. You're coming with us.
saying something
Well, that's not thought police, is it? That's speech police.
that that they regard as hurtful, harmful.
Well, I don't think it's an emotional response. I think it's more of an authoritarian control structure. But yeah,
That doesn't help
no, it doesn't. It's not you come with us. You're being unhelpful.
complete domination of this person
hell.
by the state, so that they will do everything
Yeah,
that the state wants.
yeah.
You know, make sure
Make sure
that everyone wears
what they wear.
two masks.
2 masks. That's what they did. You mean 2 layers in the same mask to make sure that they stop the particles that might carry COVID?
Because if you don't, you'll be censored.
No, you won't. You just won't be as healthy. A lot of people just wear neck, gaiters, and they don't work. I mean, people will let them pass off because it stops your spit from coming out, but it's not going to be as protective for you from other sources as a 2-layered mask. N95s are 5 layers. I'm sorry, you're stupid. Please continue.
Or you'll be
Well, yeah, you'll be sick and die.
unpersoned.
Oh, I see. You're unpersoned because your mask only has 1 layer.
Or you'll be canceled.
I see.
We're not there yet, but
No, we're not. No, not by any stretch. I mean, we should be. I mean, Biden's been in charge for like 39 days.
Fauci is talking about 2 masks. We're still at 1 mask. 1 mask will get you unpersoned
What?
and
What?
castigated. A lot of words for this.
Yeah, castigated's fine though. Use that one. That one works the best, I think.
Basically, what
Yeah, stick with the basics. I don't want to be. Don't get this too big.
the book
Fucking hell.
involves is
Yeah, start from tell us what it's about.
how totalitarian government operates.
All right. How does it work?
Includes mass surveillance
Yeah, that'd be necessary. Sure.
that you put on your television. Winston at one point puts on I believe it's his television,
Well, it's probably his television then.
and then all of a sudden he
The
gets
TV's watching him
visited because they know everything that he said.
because his TV was on,
But he didn't know that actually they're watching him at his television.
watching through his television. So it's a 2-way television. It's like FaceTime. Oh my God, we're all stuck in this.
I don't know if they're watching us in the television, but they're
No, probably. Yeah, they probably are.
watching us a lot. And
Yeah, they're watching a lot. Nobody's watching this, but
you look at the FISA court, which has become somewhat of a joke, right?
no.
And what they did in order to get Trump with totally phony affidavits and let the people get away with perjury.
They didn't get away with perjury. And the one guy that got busted actually made the FISA warrant less likely to be put through. He actually was helping Carter Page skirt surveillance.
They don't see freedom of expression.
This is good so far. Yeah, you're doing
Brother
good.
and the people who
Yeah, no.
dominate Oceania don't see freedom of expression as any value at all.
No, it sucks. You kidding me?
There's no freedom of expression.
No.
Expression should be to express the things that
Susan Rice makes you express. Sure.
that create the higher good of the state, as determined by not you, but by other people. And the penalties for being unpersoned, actually could include death, but they
Well, that's really being unpersoned.
mostly involve ostracism,
Ostrich, where they turn you into an ostrich. It's terrible.
similar to the
Stick your head in the sand and leave you out.
way we now
Fucking hell.
cancel people, or the way they did during McCarthyism. We
They did during McCarthyism?
had that history in our country
I'm sorry, was it left-wingers that were canceling people under McCarthyism?
of McCarthyism, but at least in the case of McCarthyism,
They were going after the left?
the media was sensitive to it. And although it did occur for a couple of years, they
Yeah, just a couple of years.
came to the defense of the people who were treated that way.
Yeah, decades later,
And by the way,
after a few of them had already died.
just to make sure we tell history correctly, before Winston
Bunch of these assholes were really commies and had it coming. Right, Rudy?
can come in here,
Tell
come
him.
in here and change it.
Nah.
It was the Republican Party who ostracized Senator McCarthy. They
All right.
acted against their own party member.
Yeah, he was their guy. Took him long enough.
And it was General Eisenhower who organized that. And McCarthy's
Yeah.
colleagues in the Senate who censored him and made him basically an isolated man
Yeah. After they backed him for a good long while.
and stopped his ability to destroy people's reputation without any proof in a forum, which is the way we do it now. We don't bother about even getting the facts. We just have the New York Times writing a headline and person is destroyed.
Right. That's what you were attempting with the New York Post and the phony Hunter Biden laptop story.
If the person is right wing. If the person is left wing, it almost never happens, and when it happens, it takes forever to happen. And it's like pulling teeth. So,
Yeah. Great story. Fucking hell.
the reason this is important is
It's not. Rudy, you're wasting everyone's time.
Orwell was an expert on socialism and communism.
Well, no, not really. Certainly not now. What we have in this country isn't even close to socialism. It's democratic taxation. And the only socialist structure that actually exists within the government is kind of its own little fiefdom is, of course, the military internal structure of the fact that we pay for housing and workspaces for the military, and they work within this particular bubble. So, yeah,
was a brilliant man, and he was
totally.
very, very
He's very, what?
familiar with the writings of Marx and Engels and what they wanted to do, what their
Yeah.
plan for history was.
You're playing for history.
And in playing out 1984, he showed us
What he was concerned about?
what they could accomplish if people stuck to their plan. So is he predicting America now? Although he didn't know that.
Well, I think he was precisely doing that. So I incorporated.
Because there is a plan. There's been
There is. Oh, I thought this was a debate point.
written out for a long time, and people have been following it for over a century about how to take over a country.
Well, all right, let's hear it.
The way you do it, first of all, is you get the country to hate itself.
Okay, so you elect someone like Donald Trump and you present a bunch of like QAnon like assholes. You elevate them higher than their status would normally be, through artificial means. You boost them in social media. You give loans and support to someone like Trump so he gets into office. You help bilk suckers into supporting him. Then what? What's step two?
You get the country to become embarrassed about itself.
Well, okay. I think see earlier thing about Trump.
You attack the country's history. The way
So you put after the Civil War and after the Civil Rights Movement, you try to increase the number of Confederate statues as if the Confederacy still owns or controls land within the country, like that kind of thing.
the way they were doing with Oceania and the two other countries in 1984.
Which are what? Name them. Oh, they're not on the sheet.
You paint everything they do as evil. So you create a
Department of Evil.
syllabus
Dr. Evil.
for the schools like 1619, which says America is all defined by slavery. America was founded in 1619 because America was founded on slavery. As if America was the only...
Yeah, that's not the baseline syllabus of the entire thing. It's just dealing with the slave trade and the building up of it financially until such time it was launched till it separated itself from the monarchy.
only country in the history of the world to have slavery. Like America invented slavery.
Nope, I don't think anybody says that.
And like America didn't go through a terrible time with slavery and did some terrible things, but then did some very heroic things. And the very Abraham Lincoln, whose statue they want tore down,
Well, no, I think it's your side wants more statues of Robert E. Lee put up.
lost his life because he fought a war to end slavery.
Yeah, and a lot of people on your side actually think that was justified.
None of that's covered anymore.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, you ask kids what happened to Abraham Lincoln. They'll tell you.
Why? Do we just want to leave it out, or do we want to get people to hate America? Why do we burn flags?
We don't.
Except to get people to hate our country.
I'm sorry, is there a National Flag Burning Day now?
It displays our hatred for our country.
Does it? Why do you... Well, then stop doing it.
It's not an expression of free speech. I don't even know what you're protesting when you burn the flag.
Well, you're saying that the actions of the U.S. are antithetical to its founding documents, its perceived value in the world, its alleged Judeo-Christian values. You're saying that it is acting as an authoritative bully in the world instead of living up to its highest standards, that you've basically taken the flag and the symbol of the eagle and turned it into some shit you can put on a shelf behind you, but you don't have to live up to the qualities therein. So by burning it, you just kind of make a statement that this flag means nothing. That the flag that used to represent liberty and freedom and goodness in the world and the force of democracy, is the opposite of that. That's pretty much. I mean, I wouldn't burn a flag. It's not what I would do, but I'm pretty sure that's where they're going.
If you get up and tell me I'm against people going to jail for dope,
That's what I tell you.
I understand what you're protesting.
Yeah, going to jail for dope.
You burn the flag, I don't even know what you're protesting.
Obviously, you're trying to smoke the flag.
You're protesting the
You dope fiend.
flag.
No, you're protesting the failure of the country to live up to the standards it alleges to the world, and that the flag is a symbol of that. And therefore, never mind.
When you kneel because of the national anthem,
They don't kneel because of the national anthem. They were kneeling because of police violence and the killing of unarmed black men, and their perception that it is it is systemic and needs to be addressed. And they're using the symbol of going down to one knee, which is I can go no further, to show their both sorrow and disdain.
you're disrespecting the anthem.
No. Disrespecting the anthem is extrajudicially murdering a citizen. That's the part where the flag and the Star Spangled Banner are devalued. When someone is shot and they're unarmed, or they're choked to death, or they have someone kneel on their neck for 9 minutes and they pass away because they were denied medical care, or the cop furthered them towards dying, made that happen, killed them, shot into their house, killed Breonna Taylor, those kind of things. That is actually the disrespect for the flag. You're disrespecting the flag when you do those things. Allowing it to go unpunished is yet another circumstance where you're disrespecting the flag. And so the people who are kneeling for the Star Spangled Banner or the national anthem or for the flag itself are expressing that those things no longer live up to their meaning because of the actions of others and the actions of those that protect those others. I think I pretty much covered it, right?
that led thousands of Americans to liberate Europe.
Yeah, they liberate Europe, but they didn't do it so that individual Americans could get shot for no reason by other Americans simply because they're in a position of authority. They didn't fight Nazis just so we could have racism at home.
And Asia. And to
Well, yeah, well, maybe because of there.
liberate the world from communism. And to fight to free the slaves.
Right, but you didn't fight to free the slaves so that some asshole local boss hog could shoot somebody in the back.
Buried all over America and Europe and Asia.
Right? Yeah, you dishonor them when you it's not the kneeling or even the burning of the flag that dishonors them. It's the people who do the things that lead to that reaction.
That's the anthem they fought under, and that's the flag they rallied to.
Yeah, and that's what you disrespect when you lower the standard by which it flies. If you just wear it as jewelry like you're doing.
What have you done for the country?
Yeah, you fucker. What have you done, black person?
They did. That allows you to burn a flag or kneel.
Well, obviously, you have the right to burn a flag and kneel because that's how extensive our freedoms are in this country. As a matter of fact, that's part of why you can be, callback, extremely proud to be an American. Because in other countries, you can't burn the flag. You'll go to jail for it. Or you'll get fined. And if you don't have the money, then you'll go to jail. So it becomes a poverty tax on people who feel like they're on the receiving end. But in our country, our symbols of freedom are strong enough and have been reinforced enough by the very people you're talking about so that they can withstand burning and the kneeling and all that kind of stuff because the meaning still perseveres even if shitheels like you want to use it to wipe your ass with while your buddy at Mar-a-Lago gropes one to prove he likes it.
You probably don't even know why you're doing it, but you're doing it probably because a whole
Why?
group of people want to get you to hate America.
Is it really? Is that why? It didn't have to do with the reasons they actually stated?
And they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, they're doing a great job. Well, actually, you're the one that's making people hate America. You and Trump and that crowd. I mean, honestly, the people who charged the Capitol hate the country, or they would allow the democratic process to play itself out legally and wouldn't be violent, wouldn't beat their fellow Americans in an attempt to reassert their political dominance after they lost. I mean, that is the greatest act of violence. I mean, sure, Kaepernick knelt to express a protest, but Trumpsters literally gouged out the eye of a police officer. I mean, clearly there's a hierarchy of evils here.
We attack capitalism. People that have attacked capitalism, you don't even know what it is.
Tell us what it is.
I doubt that they ever took a course on capitalism
Yeah, they probably didn't. They don't know.
or could
It's almost like you and socialism.
tell you who Adam Smith was.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody. I mean, isn't he that guy that ruins everything?
When you go out in the streets and you interview these people, they have a hard time with the first president and
They have a hard time with the first president?
and their own senator.
Oh, you mean naming them? He's having callbacks from the last video we watched.
But they attack capitalism.
And?
It's evil.
Yeah, you attack socialism and it's evil. I mean, neither one of them describes our monetary system currently.
Meaning America is evil.
No, America's a democracy. It's a democratic republic. Capitalism is its financial structure. China is arguably more free market capitalist than the United States is.
As if socialism ever delivered anybody from poverty. And they don't know the history of socialism.
No, they don't know. Tell them.
Have no idea that so many
don't.
countries tried socialism and ended up in great failure.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah, but
Also
don't-
ended up in great violence.
Oh my
Socialism almost always leads to dictatorship. Dictatorship.
yeah, and that's why the economic structure of the Trump administration clearly as much debt as they accrued led to inexorably the Capitol steps.
Almost always leads to tremendous violence. 60 million dead in
Ugh.
Russia, in China.
Yeah, well, whatever. Russia, China. Is there really a difference?
60 million dead in China.
Yeah, 1.2 billion alive there.
That's what comes with
300 million brought out of poverty in the last 20 years alone.
socialism and communism, because it's an unnatural, it's an evil
It's gay. I see.
form of government.
Sure. It's an unnatural, evil form of... you do realize there's nothing natural about governing.
It's inherently dishonest to tell people they're all the same,
Well, yeah, nobody's doing that.
and then to treat them as being all the same. And in order to do that, you have to take control of their lives.
What? I'm sorry. He's genuinely losing me right now.
Because they know they're not all the same.
Yeah, they got to take hold of your life because they know not all governmental philosophies are the same, but they want you to think they're all the same. So why would they hate capitalism and want socialism if they're all the same?
They know they have different talents.
I see. All right, good. Like the story of the talents in the Bible.
They know they have different ambitions.
Sure, of course.
They know they have different energy. Has nothing to do with race or religion or background. It's just the way God made them.
What? Who is he talking about?
They know that.
They do?
So the only way you can force them into conformity is by force.
Well, yeah. If you're going to force somebody into something, you have to use force to do it. That's Newton's law of forcing somebody.
The stage they're at in 1984 is by mind control,
Ah, I see.
by newspeak, which is basically speaking
It's talking like Gavin Newsom.
contradictions. Sound familiar?
Yeah, it's your show.
Fake news, newspeak.
Yeah, you lie, and then you call people that correct you fake news. Yeah, that would be newspeak.
By thought control, which leads to unpersoning someone.
Thought control, which leads to unpersoning. I thought thought control would keep you from having to unperson someone, and if it failed, then you'd have to unperson them. Does it really matter?
Sound like political correctness
No, it doesn't.
and cancel culture?
No, it doesn't.
We're
It's terrible.
getting there if we're not there already.
We're probably already there. We were probably there in 2020 when you read your little, obviously the polling has changed now. More people are proud to be American now after Trump has left than they were last June. That's weird.
Let's take a brief pause.
Let's do it. I mean, honestly, fucking hell. This is killing me. Bunch of bullshit. Okay, we're almost done with this nonsense. We've got 4 minutes left. Come on, Rudy, bring it home. Spoiler alert, he's going to tell us how 1984 ends, more than likely.
1984 was built on the cult of personality.
Look in my eyes, what do you see? The cult of personality.
No.
I know you, Rudy.
We had a Kennedy cult and an Obama cult and a
We had a Kennedy cult and an Obama cult. Do we have a Clinton cult as well?
Clinton cult, now a Biden cult.
There's no Trump cult. So there's a Biden cult. There's no Trump cult, though. Those people are just true believers. Newspeak.
That meant they didn't get investigated for the crimes other people got investigated for.
Yeah, they did. He actually sicked the DOJ on people, and they just never found anything. As a matter of fact, he continued to go after Hillary's emails, and his own DOJ and Bill Barr actually had to release a report that there was no there. Where's this Durham report? They've had all the time in the world.
Did they? I'm thinking here of Teddy with the
Chappaquiddick.
with the woman
Chappaquiddick.
who died. That he was driving.
Right?
I don't know.
You don't know.
You drive a car into the water.
Uh-huh.
Woman dies.
Uh-huh.
Think you can go to jail?
No, not if it was an accident. Are we jailing anyone who survives an accident now? The fuck are you talking about?
Or
What? Just no. Let's go back to Chappaquiddick.
let's leave Obama out
Yeah, let's leave Obama out of this since he had no scandals.
because I can't prove anything about Obama.
Yeah, that's true. You can't prove anything about Ted Kennedy and Chappaquiddick.
But Clinton, you think you destroyed 33,000 emails subpoenaed by the government? You'd go to jail?
Yeah, she didn't destroy them. They actually were all reviewed. She didn't go to jail. They did a full report. There was no classified. There was, I think the ultimate ruling was there was loose handling of some items that were later classified, but not classified top secret. Oh, thanks. Nice, Diana. No, actually.
And in the case of Biden,
Yeah, tell me about Biden. He's been in office for 39 days.
you think if your son took millions and millions and millions of dollars from Ukraine, Russia, China, about 4 other countries, and then had a text in which he said he gave half of that to you,
Yeah, that's not what that said.
you think he'd go to jail?
No. Why would you? Based on what? Do the Bidens have an island somewhere? Do the Bidens have hidden property somewhere? Where did all this money go? Did they smoke it? Where is all the Biden cash? I mean, did they make gold bars? Is their basement full of diamonds? What the fuck are you talking about?
But you're part of the
So when do Dems grow a set of balls? In all deference to Kristen Sinema, I think they have them.
protected personality like they have in 1984. And then they have the cult of devils, Goldwater, Reagan, and now, of course, the devil of devils, Trump.
Oh, so he's the bad guy in this. So basically, newspeak would be like, you can take whatever the language is and just pretend it fits your side.
Gosh, it's awful.
Isn't it?
Similar, isn't it?
No.
Accident or not,
It's, the whole show is about that it isn't, is a plan. I mean, it's the title of the fucking thing. Is there, I guess you would pose it as a question, sure. But that's not quite fair since you don't seem to know anything.
you've got to read it. You got to read 1984.
I have read 1984. I mean, I appreciate that your son drafted up some notes about it for you.
And you've
Because you don't seem to understand that you're the villain in the
got to
story.
read the Communist Manifesto.
Why? Why is Rudy Giuliani asking me to read the Communist Manifesto?
And you got to read parts of Das Kapital.
Why am I reading Das Kapital? You want me to read Mein Kampf next? The fuck is the matter with you?
I know we don't read enough anymore.
Yeah, but I'm not going to read those things, A, because I've read, in the case of 1984, I've read them. And in the case of Communist Manifesto, I have no interest in that. And there are lots of other books to recommend. I mean, I wouldn't recommend your book on leadership because even you don't know what's in it.
And then we leave it to people with an agenda
Yeah,
to tell us what the facts are.
tell them what the...
But I'm
what-
going to urge you to do that.
Yeah. So read these books and then leave it to people with an agenda to describe the contents. Oh my God, that's what we've been watching.
I'm going to urge you, now that I've outlined this and shown
You haven't outlined it. You've dissembled it in a way that makes you the victim and other people the aggressors. You've inverted the meaning of it as best you can so that the free speech of private individuals and companies is somehow government overreach, and your buddy's government overreach has somehow victimized him.
you the similarities, the eerie similarities
They're not eerie at all.
between what Orwell predicted would be a socialist kind of country in 1984.
No, it was full-on authoritarian dictatorship.
We're not 100% the same.
No. What? How? Really? How are we different? I mean, I'm in obviously a dissident cell.
But when you see the eerie
Similarities?
similarities
Yeah, you said that before.
between his 1984 and America in 2020 under the Democrat Party,
Rudy, it's 2021. The Democrats didn't take control until January 20th of 2021. Donald Trump and the Republicans controlled the Senate and the executive branch during 2020. During the time when you said people were embarrassed by America more than they had ever been since you were mayor.
tell me that we're not in danger.
We're not in danger.
And that this is something we have to take a much closer look at.
Yeah, we'll take a much closer look at it. Sure.
And we will.
Yeah, of course we will.
We will spend time on learning
Oh, really? What, starting now?
the real history of communism, the real history of socialism.
Great. This will be a great course. I can't wait to take Rudy Giuliani's True History of Communism.
And we'll take a look at another book that I'm going to recommend you read.
Uh-oh. It's not a pop-up book, is it? If you put it in your lap, I'm leaving.
So that we can discuss it in even greater detail, and that's Aldous Huxley's Brave New World.
Right. That was, we should have said that. Yes. Again, I sort of win the coin flip because it landed on its side. Bye. Thanks, Robin. How many watched this, Hal? You look tan, by the way. Oh, thanks. I've got a little more color than usual. This 461 views, 460 till I came along, and 69 rumbles.
If you look at history and you realize that had we done more reading, we could have avoided maybe World War II.
Really? That's what we just didn't read. If everybody had read Mein Kampf, maybe we wouldn't have had to fight World War II because we would have all, what, Rudy, been on Hitler's side?
Maybe bin Laden.
I didn't realize bin Laden had put a book out.
Maybe communism. Not sure of that.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd have skipped communism or... I don't know.
It really would do us well to do some reading.
Yeah, I agree.
Particularly since we have so much propaganda.
Yeah, I know. It's terrible. Like shows like yours.
Being spread so artfully.
Yeah, I know. I mean, it's very artful. I like how you put your common sense thing on the on the light shade so it looks like it's actually part of it when it's really just an overlay. And, you know, I like the addition of the eagle. Everybody enjoys that little statue with the two flags, you know, one for the one that killed Sicknick and one for the one that poked the cop's eye out. I think that's tasteful. And then, of course, the I guess that's a cigar box with a weird red garter on it. I think you got the garter off the leg of Borat.
It's really important to maintain our own integrity.
Yeah. Get you know what? You go ahead. We'll catch up.
That we read and acquire facts for ourselves.
Sure.
But thank you for giving me attention to this, and please make certain that you respond, and tell me what you think.
Okay. Will this do?
Tell me what your view on this is, and tell me what you think I've missed.
How about the entire point of 1984 and the obvious conclusions of people being embarrassed to call themselves Americans in the fourth year of the Trump presidency?
I've learned a lot from you both.
Hey, I know. Like, I mean, I appreciate you watching my video on how to remove a microphone without showing your dick to strangers. It's it's only got about 9 views, but I appreciate you watching it 8 times.
Both from my audience here, podcast, and my audience on radio.
Yeah, it's great on WABC.
WABC.
Where you've been canceled. Yeah, because obviously you've been attacked by big media, big tech, but little radio still has.
Which you can get at WABC.com. Radio.com.
All right, close enough.
And I learned a great deal from them because I put questions to them and they give me information.
Do they? Do they give you information, or do you have a circle jerk human centipede of shit information that you just feed back to yourself? You're on a feedback loop and you think, this affirms exactly what I believed in the first place.
So again, thank you very much, and we'll be back in a few days.
No, you won't. Sorry. Wow, that was long, and I apologize. Christ almighty. Yeah. Ick. We'll finish up on this just for fun. It's our good old friend Hank Kuhneman. There's going to be an earthquake, and Hank has just dropped the entire question of this is. Let's just stop pretending this isn't political.
Amazing they took 4 years and how many millions of dollars on a false Mueller report.
Well, they didn't do it on a false Mueller report. It was just shortchanged by Rod Rosenstein because he wouldn't let them look into the financials, and therefore it removed the, that usually have motive, opportunity, and so it removed the motive part because you couldn't look at where his finances were. And, never mind. Go ahead. You were fuming.
But yet they won't hear the truth. And that's why they're spending overtime to try to censor the truth. But I'm going to say this last thing.
Okay, please.
They can continue to try to silence the voice of righteousness right now.
Oh, well,
and those that are taking...
Thank you very much. All right, I will. I'm doing it right now. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
A stand in this great nation, but they don't realize that they are contesting or fighting against something that's bigger than them. And you know what it is?
Sure, they're bigger than them. Sure, Donald Trump's waistline.
It's the Almighty God, the Spirit of Truth Himself.
Oh, see, I thought you meant Trump's midsection. It was much bigger than, pretty much anybody short of Nadler.
And he is interjecting himself in this nation. And there are great things and God things ahead.
Great and God things. Oh, I didn't realize they were so.
And I thank God for people like Lance Wallnau and this panel who are...
Yeah, that's Lance Wallnau next to the guy who looks like the guy on the far end is... you'll know him as the villain in Extreme Measures, the rogue FBI agent who kills homeless people. And then the Lance Walnuts, Jimmy Walnuts is right next to him. Whatever. He's from they found him in a bin of old Anchormen. And then of course there's Hank. And then this guy right here, I don't know. He just makes me drowsy looking at him.
Standing up and many others, because we're going to take this nation back for...
Sure, you're going to take it back. That's right. Take it back.
God.
Yeah, for God. Because he needs your help.
To be a backlash. And we're saying...
Yeah, it's total backlash.
That. A populist backlash.
A populist backlash. And that's what God wants or whatever. It's just, God wants to win popularity contests.
Merging with an awakening, a spiritual awakening. The two are going to fuse together.
Mm-hmm. They're going to rub together like this, like a little sword fight, right? They're going to be banging together, just and then the other one's going to go, and then they're like that.
You're going to see some 45 or...
You're going to see a little come out of one end. Sorry.
50 million people coming to Christ. That's
50 million. 50. Well, you should invest now.
One half of the people that voted for Donald Trump that are devastated by what's happening.
And the other half are, wait a minute. You're saying 100 million people voted for him? I don't know. Your math seems to fall short. That's about 2/3, if not more, of who voted for him, and they're not really devastated. They're actually fine. Biden's got a 60% approval rating. Clearly that...
have faith. At least half of the voters are Christian. The other half
are evil. Half of the people who voted for Trump are, what are you going to say, deplorables?
Low-hanging fruit.
I see, the Neanderthals.
And it's going to converge together to create a sweeping reset.
Sure, they're going to rub them. First, they'll start with one, and then there'll be 4 or 5 sword fights going on, and then they'll be like that, and then they'll be rubbing together like that, and then they're going to start to fire.
And we're coming into the absolute revival battle of our lifetime.
Yeah, they'll all be coming at the same time, right?
Right on the horizon.
All right, so a lot of shit
come right on your horizon.
Shaking, a lot of stuff happening. In fact, there was a prophecy back in February about shakings, eruptions, and disruptions. What?
Oh my God! Somebody made what happened?
I said and I declare.
Oh my God! We're going back to he prophesied an earthquake. Have we had one?
That this election, the one that you experienced in the United States, would be given to my son.
Oh yeah, we saw this shit before, dude. Piss off. Can't just jump ahead with this shit. Hold on.
Do you think that this nation will be stolen from him?
Do I think he's going to be stolen? No, I think he lost it in a legit election. That's when, by the way, that's when this happens, and the coming is just all over.
I said that election...
It's a giant space frog just ejaculating over a pile of eggs.
...would be given to the children.
Yeah.
And so it shall, as you enter into a new season that is upon this nation. Watch the intensity of the soil.
Yeah, watch. Yeah, absolutely. The nitrogen content.
As the shakings will continue in the earth.
Mm-hmm. So you might trip on your way to your car. Just be careful.
Watch as the...
Yes, I'm wearing one.
There will be eruptions.
Well, yeah, it's happening above you right now. It's like
that will...
Giant space frog come. Just come. Sorry.
Mark disruptions.
Wait, is it eruptions or disruptions? I need to know because I'm writing in my journal.
Great interruptions.
Wait. And interruptions. Shit.
Of my hands.
There's a lot of uption going on.
And I will do it for the children. Those who've been massacred in the wombs.
All right.
Those who walk upon the earth at this time.
You mean wandering toddlers?
That they will not have to live in socialism in the United States.
Oh, so like kids with little toddlers without parents will just starve to death as sacrifices to have absolute free market economy. Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. Hold on, we're skipping ahead because he just talks about. Yeah, go back to this. Tell them how you were right.
Mr. Hank, even today, there was a news report out about 150 children being rescued in Tennessee from child trafficking, but that's just...
Yeah, it's weird. It wasn't Hollywood, and it wasn't New York. What the fuck is up in Tennessee?
There's so much going on here that in that prophetic word there. I mean, if you just go to Google right now...
Yeah, well, obviously you'll get the mark of the beast if you type too slowly.
And you do a search for volcano...
yeah, that's what I do. Safe search off.
Look what comes up. All these eruptions that are happening. You know, we just did that, and I want you to see it on the screen here. Just what it looks like when you search for volcano. I mean, they're just one after the other.
Yeah, about the same.
Frank, what are you seeing?
University research finds central Utah volcanoes are still active, but no evidence of imminent eruption. 2 stories about the same ones in Iceland.
That's what God is saying.
Third one about Iceland.
There are things that have been done that have been very dark, diabolical things that have been done in secret, not just concerning the election. And
have you? I have a quick question. Have you, by any chance, have you done a Google search? Work with me, guys. Have you done a Google search for days preceding and like this time last year and compared it to regular volcanic activity over the entire globe? Or do you just realize that if you type in volcano and you put in news, it will give you what is effectively a constant update of new volcanic activity on a planet?
And criminal acts of treason that happen, but we're seeing things that
in volcanoes
happen to the children. And there are 2 things that God says specifically you don't touch.
Yes. Well, I mean, there's 3 things. But
don't touch the prophets.
Oh, okay. I was totally wrong.
Do them any harm.
Started with a P, but I was...
But you don't touch the children, or like Jesus...
Wait, how is it the first thing is you don't touch the prophets? Why the fuck does he get a pat? Like, don't touch kids, but even more importantly, don't mess with prophets. Gee, what does Hank do for a living?
Prophets are 2 things that God says specifically you don't touch.
Don't touch them.
Don't touch the prophets.
You leave them alone. You do not touch the prophets. Get your hands off of them.
Or do them any harm. But
yeah, do not do prophets any harm, especially if they've been bullshitting you for 4 years straight and lying their ass off, and they keep telling you that Trump is going to be president. Seriously, day after tomorrow, just hang in there, keep sending in that cash. The Lord says, do not smite upon them your vengeance of being pissed off about being lied to. Therefore, I do say unto thee, send them a check.
Don't touch the children.
No, yeah. First leave. I mean, if you have to flip a coin, kick the shit out of the kids, but don't touch the prophets.
Or like Jesus said, it'd be better that a millstone be tied around your neck than to touch the children.
Okay, when you're swimming or just walking?
Eruptions are a sign of things that are underground or
what? Sounds awfully sciencey.
Things that have been sown in the earth, or the actions and the sin of man, hidden things, secret things,
or tectonic plate shifting and lava.
that God on purpose is bringing it to the top. Now, we're not prophesying.
So he doesn't do this shit on accident.
Destruction. What we're saying.
No, we're not saying anything's going to happen. We're just saying stuff is happening, and therefore it reinforces what we've said would happen, even if it didn't happen the way we said it was going to happen. Don't touch the prophets. Take the kids. Leave me alone.
God is saying, look to a natural sign of something that I'm going to deal with my hand. Now,
I see. So a natural sign, like not your hair, your eyebrows, or your face.
I want to read this to you, Gene.
Does Botox count?
This is an interesting one, and I'll go very quickly. This was from 2000.
Wait, naturally people go blind. Aren't glasses a proof that you don't have faith? And he can't hear me. He's got his Apple AirPods in.
15.
Yeah.
And God said this, I tell you all things that have taken place in the earth that are happening. Do not fear. It is a divine setup.
It's a setup. We're being set up.
That there will be signs as you enter into the years of the volcano and their eruptions.
The years of the volcano and their eruptions.
And the Lord says, upon the left and upon the right, they will be shaken. And when this takes place...
So Biden as a centrist is completely safe?
Some will take a hold of their head and they will say, I cannot believe the things that I'm hearing. Is this true?
And you'll go, no, it's absolutely bullshit. Well, only what I say is true. And write me a check.
And God says, yes, it is true. For I've waited for their arrogance to reach a certain tipping point.
Yeah, you don't want to jump too quick.
And now I shall bring them to humility.
Humility. Excuse me, it's humility.
Bring them to a place where I will now deal with that which they've done in secret. It shall be made known upon the housetops. And that's what the eruptions are about.
So there's going to be volcanic eruptions on roofs.
There's winds
from inside the house.
Winds of change that are happening right now.
I followed them on Spa down to Gonky Park, listening to the winds of change
upon the earth. December 1st, God prophesied about the winds. He prophesied in August of last year, 2020, that this nation would go through blizzards, ice, and snow. And people say,
in the winter?
Well, that happens any winter. No.
Yeah.
He specifically said, watch the places that it would happen. He even said, watch D.C.
Yeah, it happens there every year, too.
And they had a record break of over...
Yeah, they had record-breaking, totally.
700 years of a drought, no snow.
A snow drought? There hasn't been snow in D.C. in 700 years?
Because God said, I'm using the snow.
God said, I'm using the snow. Right, he was cleansing it of Trump, that's right.
It's a sign of cleansing, and also Psalms...
Yeah, Trump left. It snowed. It was a sign of cleansing. Gotcha.
68.
So God was cleansing D.C. of the stain of Trump.
14.
Thanks, Casey.
Dealt with wicked kings when it was snowing in Zalman. We are in...
Yeah, and that's what happened. He got rid of Trump, and he laid in a snow to wash all the grossness away.
Time right now.
Sure.
Where God is saying, I've had enough. And that is why it is so important, Christian, to not be fighting with one another.
Yeah, don't fight. And especially don't attack the prophets on their way to their goddamn car.
Fighting against the prophets.
Yeah. I didn't even... That was an act. I didn't... Yeah.
Listen, it's very...
I mean, who couldn't see that coming, but...
Very evident, and I want to follow up with something that Mike Lindell said.
Yeah, please. Because I didn't catch half of it.
Regarding President Trump. He made it...
Yeah.
Very clear in his speech. He's not going anywhere. And
yeah, he's staying in Florida.
When you saw the video clip, those of you that are watching tonight of Biden, it's very evident. We're not here to call out what he's obviously having to deal with. But
you mean assholes like you and crazy people in the country and people who are threatening continued violence against our democratic process because they lost, and false prophets like you are telling them that they have a right to be angry when they absolutely don't? You mean shit like that?
As far as in a sickness or whatever's going on with him.
Oh yeah, he's definitely sick of you.
But I can tell you this, you don't see or feel the anointing of the Spirit of God upon him because...
Why? Yeah, I kind of do, actually. I mean, he goes to church, he visits his son's grave, he speaks empathetically to the people. I mean, there's a lot of the things about, that I was raised to believe were an integral part of Christianity. Clearly not you, I mean.
Because he's not been chosen and elected of God.
Yeah, he was.
Therefore, when you
Either that or God only has a 50-50 chance of doing shit. Like, apparently God can only get somebody reelected once
listen to Donald Trump,
every 20 years. So he wasted it on fucking George W. Bush. Damn.
and I did, and I heard his speech, the anointing of the Holy Spirit is not lifted off of that man. And so we are in a reversal. We are in a reset. We are in the greatest days where God is saying this nation will not be a socialistic or communist nation. Watch and see, taste and see, the Lord is good.
Taste and see? Who's eating God at this point? What kind of cannibalistic shit is this?
And you're about to celebrate and rejoice.
Yeah, with the cake of God.
In these coming months and years of what God has planned. And I'm excited.
Yeah, what he has planned is Biden to be president for the next 4 years.
Excited as it unfolds.
Yeah, totally excited. There's money to be made. Just don't bother me on my way to my car.
So don't lose heart. There's great things that are coming.
Yes,
Matter of fact,
amen.
we
And you know,
started off Flashpoint. We were starting off with Haggai the prophet, right even before the election.
Yeah. Right before the election, you were like, Haggai the prophet says this is going to go our way. We're going to make it.
Because we've been saying
Yeah.
the promise that it says in Haggai, which is, I will overthrow the throne of kingdoms.
Yeah, how does that not apply immediately?
I will destroy the strength of the
Thank you, Chili Crew. Literally my favorite thing to watch. Thanks.
kingdoms. The Lord says he's going to be shaking the heavens and the earth.
But not stirred. Sorry.
The shaking that Hank is prophesying about.
Yeah, it's because he's had too much coffee.
The weather patterns.
Yeah, there'll be storms and rumors of storms.
And then you're looking up,
somebody's skirt, probably Ainsley Earhart. You guys look like Fox viewers to me.
Volcanic stuff. The earth itself
is pissed that Trump isn't president.
Is responding to a shifting that's happening in the hierarchy of these
of your hair
principalities and powers. And when the Bible says that I'm going to shake the heavens and the earth,
it wasn't talking about now.
And I'm going to cause my house to be filled with glory. This goes to what Brother Copeland's talking about.
Sure.
The year of the local church. God's rebuilding and reestablishing his.
Yeah, he's going for the local churches because the big online prophetic chains like Flashpoint and the mega churches like the Joel Osteen crowd have become dens of vipers and are filled with Satan. And so he's got to go to the kind of baseline, local steeple church. Is that what you're saying?
People as a house that can handle his glory.
Yeah, you can't handle his kind of glory. And you can't handle the glory.
This overthrow, this shaking.
I love Lanny Walnuts.
Is going to be to destroy the strength of the kingdoms of the heathen.
Uh-oh.
Which means that it's not just spiritual hierarchies up here.
Yeah.
It's going to be the alignment on the earth below. And
right. So you got two people fisting one heathen. I don't know how it works out.
We saw this happen in the Soviet Union.
Yeah, we did.
Where we were battling with communism.
We sure were.
Until the 60s. They potentially.
And yeah, after the 60s, we really didn't battle with communism. I mean, there might have been some sort of cold scuffle.
Khrushchev, Kennedy, in nuclear confrontation. And then suddenly, as Reagan comes in to office.
Yeah, in 1960.
Office, as the church actually enters into a stronger phase of engagement than ever before.
In 1960, when Reagan became president,
you saw the boom. The Berlin Wall came down, and
in 1980,
if it hadn't been for bad advice in Washington, communist China would have also come down. But the idea was we were going to engage them and bring them into our world. Instead, we've ended up putting our head almost in the mouth of the tiger.
That was about to go very dark.
Because communism.
Yes, Trump is Christ to them. He is God's son.
Is still there, but that spirit, when it comes down.
Spirit? Yes, sir. About the 11:30, sir.
It always shakes earthly kingdoms of the heathen, and that's what we're looking for right now.
Yeah, it's like a butter churn of heathenism.
now. We're looking for the spiritual shaking to be a disruption.
All right, this is getting gross.
Down here. So when you see these signs, these signs of winds blowing and things shaking,
weather, whenever you watch the local weather,
it actually tells us that we're nearing the time when earthly kingdoms,
aren't we,
are going to be overturned as these strongholds are overturned. The church is the key actor in this, which is why we have to be bolder than we've ever been and not back down, because the house will be filled with glory.
Yeah, amen.
Yeah, I mean, you lost, but
let me go back here to Hank Kuhneman.
All right, yeah.
Just got a few minutes left here.
Why are you cutting out Mike? You only got a couple minutes left. You're not going to let Mike say something? You're going to go right back to Hank?
Pastor Hank, what we've all been
Pastor Mustard, after you.
Describing is a
Pastor Potato Salad.
Desperate society that's being censored. It's like a bad communist movie.
It is like a bad communist movie. It's not like a good communist movie.
Playing out right before our eyes with socialist
keep nodding, Mike.
Agendas and silencing people.
Yeah, totally. Those are so it's a silent movie. Okay.
What do we do? What do we do? I want you to speak to the people at home that are watching going, oh, I don't know. You mean,
I don't know what to do. I'm so confused, okay? Tell me what to do, Hank. Hank, I'm just wondering now. Because you said, like, volcanoes are supposed to be, like, some big sign, but there's, like, volcanic activity every day. So am I supposed to, like, where do I just get in the basement with a can of beans and hope for the best?
Some of them are Christians and they've got...
Well, some of them aren't, the devil ones or whatever. We just beat those people to death in the name of Jesus, take their stuff.
Their hands up, don't know what they're doing.
Yeah, the Christians just don't know what they're doing.
What should they do?
What should they do, Hank?
Well, first of all, we need to walk by faith.
Yeah, that's what we do, especially to the non-Christians out there that he's talking to.
And not by sight.
Yeah, so close your eyes and just find a big open freeway or a road, something with a lot of traffic.
That's the first thing. We don't.
Yeah, then you close your eyes and you just walk out into traffic. That's the first thing. That helps.
We want to put our eyes on.
Gotcha. Let me add that to the list.
All the things that the media is saying and all the things that are happening around us and slip into fear.
Yeah, don't look at how you've been lied to by your prophets and start to doubt their bullshit.
I do feel prompted to say something with, Mike being here and maybe...
Yeah, because he's paying for it.
You're watching tonight and you're saying, yeah, but, I just don't believe that the election...
Yeah, I don't believe it.
Election was stolen.
Yeah, I don't believe it. And not only do I not believe the election was stolen, I also think your prophecies are bullshit.
I want to just read you...
I think you're a liar.
Very, very quick.
I think you're of the devil, even.
This was a prophecy, August...
If such a thing exists, you definitely qualify.
16th of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And God said this. He already talked about what was going to happen in the election. Listen to this.
Oh, it's going to be good.
He said, the enemy desires to bring to your election to disrupt, divert, deceive concerning your election in the United States, to try to kill, steal, and destroy, to bring...
Kill, steal, and destroy. Oh, that's the dead voters. Wait, did they... Okay.
Diversion.
Did they kill voters or did dead people magically vote?
Delay, deception through chaos of a plan.
Oh my goodness. What happened? Who was... Hold on. There was a giant super chat and I didn't even see it. Was Chili Crew, thank you. Bless you for that.
Thing that shall shift and reshape things even as...
You take a big shift.
As they look now. But the devil has overplayed his hands.
Oh, yeah, he always does that. I mean...
At this time.
Yeah.
Do you think for a moment that this will be the way that it always will be?
No, I could clearly. To change with change is the changeless state.
So God told us ahead of time that this was going to happen.
No, he didn't. You were saying that Trump won and that he was going to... Every other day you had a reason why he was actually going to win. So you're telling me now that you misinterpreted what you told everybody and that God actually told you before the election that Trump was going to lose and it would be a period of darkness to test faith.
I already knew that. I think Lance even wrote it in his book. And here's the bottom line.
Yeah, tell me.
Zechariah 3.
Zechariah. Okay, hold on one second. Let me look this shit up. Hold on. Zechariah 3. Give me a second. I want to make sure I got this right. Zechariah. Whoops. 3, okay, and then what's the there we go. Verse
9 says.
Verse 9. Okay, Zechariah is okay. Zechariah 3, verse 9. All right, we'll bring that up around. Okay, so, for behold, this gives the reason why the branch is brought forth. The church is to be firmly established and all iniquity to be abolished. The stone. Sorry, Zechariah. Here, let's have him read it to us, shall we?
In one day, God removed the iniquity off the land.
In just one day, that's all it took. So in one, okay, for behold, on the stone that I have set before Joshua, on a single stone with 7 eyes, I will engrave its inscription, declare the Lord of hosts, and will remove the iniquity of this land in a single day. Fantastic. On that day, declares the Lord of hosts, you will each invite your neighbor to sit under your own vine and fig tree. Oh, that's nice. That's, yes, hold on. Let's see. Where's your King James? There you go. New King James Version. That's what's up. Okay, verse 3, okay, Zechariah 3, he showed me Josh's eyes, a brand plucked from fire, now clothed in filthy garments, was standing before the angel. He then answered and spoke to those that stood before him, take away the filthy garments from him. And to whom he said, see, I have removed your iniquity from you, and I will clothe you in rich robes. And I said, let them put a clean turban on his head. I don't know if you should read this to other Christians, because I think they'll misinterpret it as something. All right.
If God did it for them then
why shouldn't he expect to do it for you now because you demand it?
In one day or in a moment, God could open a Red Sea, lead a nation into divine preservation, and bring them into their inheritance, and at the same time...
Yeah, but those people were enslaved for a long time, and then they were set free, and it was the faith of Moses, arguably, that split the water and allowed them to go through. But you guys have been in power for the last...
Take that same sea and cover a pursuing enemy of the left who wanted to bring them back into socialism and communism.
Wait a minute, I'm sorry. The Pharaoh was a communist?
What can and is God going...
Hank, go and be with your wife and kids. Peggy will be happy here. Who's Peggy? Is his wife named Peggy?
...to do in one day or suddenly, and that's what you got to focus on.
Yeah, that at any time, this could all turn around. So the story, I mean, this is the vision of the high priest. And then the angel of the Lord admonished Joshua, saying, thus says the Lord of hosts, if you walk in my ways, that's kind of sort of like a regulation. And if you keep my command, that's another regulation. This is getting pretty thick. And we've got 2 new regulations. That means we have to get rid of one. And then you shall also judge my house, and likewise have charge of my courts. And I will give you places to walk among those who stand here. So you'll be a man of standing. Hear, O Joshua the high priest, you and your companions who sit before you, for they are a wondrous sign. For behold, I am bringing you forth my servant, the branch. So he was opening a new branch, and they were cutting the ribbon that day. And then everybody got a toaster if they opened a new account. I see. For behold the stone, or not a toaster, but a stone, that I have laid before Joshua. Upon the stone are 7 eyes. Behold, I will engrave its inscription, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will remove the iniquity of that land in one day. In that day, says the Lord of hosts, everyone will invite his neighbor under his vine and under his fig tree. I gotta say that sounds kind of like communism to me. That's pretty fucking socialist right there. You know what I mean? I know. I could see why Hank gave up on that Bible verse where he did. You know what I mean? Where he bailed out. Everyone will invite his neighbor under his vine and under his fig tree. So you're just basically going to feed everybody? And his neighbor. So it's based on geography. So it's not like you pick your best friend and invite them over. You have to, whoever lives next door. That's weird.
This is not over. God is going to continue to interject himself. And what you need to do,
so good.
like Lance and the different ones are saying here on this panel, is engage yourself.
Yeah.
God is raising up people who are dissatisfied.
That's right. He's raising them up on the tip of his finger, and they're all going to come together. And all right.
There has to come a point where the flesh is between your teeth, like the children of Israel who wanted quail. And you...
Dan Quayle? Wait, Dan Quayle is the Savior? And you have to get him between your teeth? What kind of filth?
You say, you know what? We've had enough.
Yeah, that's what enough quail. I'm done.
Watch what God's about to do.
Yeah.
Things are going to shift. The winds are revealing it.
They're going to take a big shift.
The ground is shaking it. and the volcanoes are erupting. But here's what
but that's good news.
God's doing.
He's providing you with cans of beans.
Injecting himself.
Ew.
And you're going to see the amazing Lord rescue a nation, rescue a people.
It's going to be great. And just keep the checks coming.
I've seen the future.
Haven't you?
And it didn't look like this. There's a
Really? So maybe you didn't see the future.
New America on the rise.
Is there? Son of a bitch. Is there a point where these assholes, where this stuff dries up? I gotta say. Is there a point where, obviously that whole, keep your hands off the prophets, they've been getting pretty goddamn sensitive over the last couple of weeks, these guys, as they've continued. Why isn't Mike Pillow talking? I wonder the same thing too, Mark. I think they just cut his piece out. They're censoring Mike Pillow. They canceled him on the show that they had him on as a guest. It's just terrible. But a lot of them are the prophets that are on Flashpoint, and what's her name, Kat Kerr. They're getting sort of next level nervous, because they keep, you can tell in how they're talking that the people that normally listen to their bullshit are starting to write them letters. And yeah, I know it gets more bizarre. I'm going to go harvest Hal Sparks for Sarah. Thanks. See me go nuts. It's good. They seem to be getting wackier and wackier with all this stuff. And let's see. Hold on. Listen to this. Look what's written. Okay, so shall it be written. This person doesn't know what he's talking about. These men are men of God and anointed by God. Don't talk bad about them. You might regret it. Oh, yes, he does. And he's about to show you who he is. He is not mocked. His word will not return void. You might think he has no authority, but you'll find out! Exclamation point. We are definitely in a spiritual battle. 3 thumbs up. I stand by the prophets of God. We have always been one nation under God. Well, God has been thrown under the bus, so to speak, by this administration. God is in control and will not be mocked from under the bus. He is a God of justice. Everything hidden shall be revealed. Praise his wonderful name. Holy, holy, holy is the Lamb. 3 thumbs up. This is March, and he says it's Groundhog Day. This seems to be old information. God bless you, Brother Hank. 4 thumbs up. Oh, they got a reply from God's message. Thanks for comment. I watch while I'm at work, stuffing and labeling envelopes. You guys make my workday much happier. God bless you all. 2 thumbs up. I break the power of those words. You, Mr. Nadler, have spoken in Yeshua's name. I ask, Father, in Yeshua's name, forgiveness for what this man has said, and that your people rise up against the abominable word spoken. That, Father God, you are authority in the House of Representatives, that your Lord and men and women will have the House of National. You're going to read more. You will forever king and purposes. In Yeshua's name, amen. 2 thumbs up. Wamp wah. God allowed the fear to come on Elijah. If he wouldn't have run into the desert, she would have killed him, obviously. You haven't realizes worked at all. You haven't realizes worked at all. Reuben, I don't get what you're fucking saying. West Virginia had snow today on longer than it had for a long time. Praise America, 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 standing. Go by the word of God, not your feelings, not your dreams, not a whole bunch of people thinking what is right or wrong or whatever. You go by the word of God, what it says. I love Hank. Why don't you ask when? I prefer to believe God will right the wrongs. Well, good for you. Today is March 5th, 2021. Pastor Hank, I stand with you and boldly stand with President Donald J. Trump. This spring will be a time of rejoicing as God himself restores President Donald J. Trump to the White House. Thank you, Luther B., from an hour ago. These fucking nutcases. By the way, reminding you guys to like and subscribe. God's Message here has 13,000 subscribers. We've got to compete with this. I don't know why they're circling this little thing up in here or what have you. But, they air this stuff on different sites or whatever. The Victory channel itself has, which is where they took this clip from, 576,000 subscribers. This video that I showed you a piece of, 99,000 views. Son of a bitch. So I'm just saying, we're doing good, though. we are, I have to say, guys, we are doing great. And the channel's growing, and I appreciate the likes and subscribes. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment below, sure. Ask any questions. I don't need any help with content, per se, like Rudy. I'm not farming you people and making you do my work for me. CSL and I have got it locked down. And by the way, big round of applause for Can't Stop Lying, just for being you, brother. I look forward to hanging in person, as opposed to digitally, as we have had to deal with over the last little bit. It'll be a good time. Oh yeah, Sunday show promo. Thank you for reminding me. It's a good way to sign out. Look at you. It's keeping me on point. This Sunday, live from Flappers in Burbank, I'm going to be doing a show. Go to flapperscomedy.com and you can watch the show there. There'll be like, if you're in the LA area and you want to be part of the 8 or 10 people that can be there, just tweet me, let me know, and I'll arrange for you to be in there. I think we can only have about maybe 10 or 12 people in the room, although the social distancing rules are better now. But anyways, that's this Sunday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, for those of you that want to watch it. All new material, as always. Even I don't know what I'm going to joke about. And yes, my chat room is definitely on top of things. I adore you guys. Don't forget, tomorrow, too, is radio show, 9 to 11 a.m. Pacific time, the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide. We're on WCPT. You can call in. We'll talk about a bunch of stuff, including, hopefully, the bill passing, fingers crossed, in the next 24 hours. So, anyways, thank you, Motang Clan.
Michigan gave us Motang.
We adore you, and I want you guys to know that every time I think of you, I think,
Wow.
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 So, just know that when I think about you guys and being able to see you every day, I think,
Wow.
you know what I mean? So, take care of yourself, take care of somebody else, smile through this. And off on a little bit of a warning as I leave. Over the next couple of weeks, I have no doubt, as these assholes ratchet up their anger at having lost the election and start lashing out at liberals and progressives and people of, sort of more open-hearted, empathetic people, which they seem to think are the villain in all these stories, that they're going to say some shit that you will find in its base level offensive and upsetting. And I know it will be airing on my channel while I'm talking about it. But I want you to know that the reason I deal with that stuff and why I bring it on here and I make jokes about it is, A, to keep you informed about what's being said, so your quiver is full of ideas that you can fire back with, but also to take some of the power away from these idiots. I refuse to take them seriously because in taking them seriously as a real threat to society is part of their power. And if I can shave 20% off the potency of these assholes by joking about them in spite of how viciously awful a lot of them are, I will do so because I think it has value. And so I appreciate when you come here and you see somebody who's just being vile, understand they have no power here. These aren't the droids they're looking for. You know what I mean? Anyways, take care of yourself and take care of somebody else, and I will see you guys tomorrow, I hope, that in the morning at the show. Cheers. Credits should be rolling, but I'm working on it.